What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 611, episode number 611 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody who is listening to me right now to spread this show link around like wildfire, okay? Go spread this show link around across the internet and throughout the world and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'd like to make that, 5 days a week like we used to, but you know how it is. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And considering that everybody is getting banned in all these social media sites, I love being independent now. Go ahead and type this in your browser right now, and of course add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites. The following, ghost.report. All right? Ghost.report. It's as simple as that. It's all you got to type in your browser, and that's all you got to add to your favorites, add to your bookmarks, baby. Ghost.report. And of course, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, who's chilling in here with me today. How you guys doing? And of course, if you have not done so, let me go ahead and remind you one more again. If you do not have an account at Gab, which is the last bastion of freedom of speech right now on the internet, then I strongly advise you to go out there and get one. And once you do, once you have a Gab account, go ahead and follow me under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, okay, follow my instructions like this. All right, go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and click the subscribe button for premium content. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do that, folks, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, because that's where our chat room is. So once again, once you click the subscribe button for premium content, private message me on Gab, let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Let me give some shout-outs to people right now. What's going on? The God of Rage. What's going on to Tesla Cyberheart, Stillwaters, Stagio, Pepe the Frog, Nat, Mr. E-Man, Metaform, Man Bear Pig, Holden Capitalist, Herb Capitalist, Hambone Capitalist, Distilling, Hawk Late Milk. What's going on to Cybernecro, Capitalist America, Blasphemous in the House, Australian Capitalist, The Professor, and what's going on? I think Hambone Capitalist, his birthday is this week, so I want to say cheers to him. What's going on to everybody else that I did not mention? What's going on to Distilling? What's going on to Curly McWhirly? What's going on to One Less Rhino? What's going on to everybody out there who's listening live? I want to thank you for being a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And like I said, and I've been saying for the past couple of shows, we are going to start mailing out actual physical newsletters to everybody who is subscribed to the True Capitalist Radio chat room every month, starting in the month of September. All right, I'm not even kidding. What's up, Pepe the Frog? I'm not even kidding, folks. That's why, if you're going to be down with us, if you want to sign with the True Capitalist Radio broadcast chat room, you better do it now. Do it now so you can get the newsletter, physical newsletter, baby, just in case they try to come after our website. Just in case they try to come after, because these goddamn stupid social justice warriors, you see how they're coming along, that we'll still have the ability to be able to communicate. And not to mention, folks, I will not store your addresses on any computer. I am going to do the things the old-fashioned way. We're going to store these damn things in a file cabinet, And I'm going to physically handwrite. Well, I can't handwrite every goddamn... now, let me take that back. I can't handwrite every newsletter, but I will make sure that this newsletter, this circle, this community that we're going to have over the mail is exclusive and it's very private. All right? I mean, in this day and age, I mean, we don't even have privacy anymore. It's fucking sad. And it's sad that they have somehow adjusted the generations coming up in this digital age just to accept not having any kind of privacy. I think it's a shame. First and foremost, since we're talking about the generations, I want to lead in with the show prior to going into the damn cryptocurrency and the stocks. I want to talk a little bit about the generations that are coming about, folks. And the reason I say this is because I want to talk to one generation specifically, and I'm talking about you millennials. Now, I did cover a few shows back that Generation Z is coming around the corner, and a report that I read a few shows back was that Generation Z, come 2019, will be almost 33% of the entire world population. Now, that's big time. Now, the reason I'm talking to you millennials is because of this. I am sick and tired of you millennials pissing and moaning. You know that you're going to be known as the crybaby, pissing and moaning, useless, lost generation. And the reason I say this is because I'm sick and tired of seeing more and more millennial-aged people disappoint me as days go by. And the reason is, folks, is because this is a disappointing generation. Now, you'll have these millennials try to blame the boomers. And at one point, I was on their side. But at this point, there is no reason to continue to throw any kind of compassion to the millennials. Many of these millennials are in their 30s. They're in their late 20s at this point in time. When exactly are these people going to make an impact on this society? They talk garbage about boomers. They even make memes about it, like we've talked about on this broadcast on 4chan. And yet, I want to tell you, millennials, you'll never be like the boomers. The boomers identified their political stances and their social stances and their economic stances when they were 18 years old, and they rode with it, and they are going to die with it. All right? I mean, they were politically aware. They understood their position in society. You numbnuts, millennial idiots, you have no idea whether you're coming or going. And listen, the proof is, and look, I said in the last broadcast that the Jacksonville mass shooting that happened at the Madden 19 event at Chicago Pizza with, what's his name, Katz, the guy that's the supposed shooter. They called him Bread online. I believe it's a false flag. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, you believe that it's real. What does that say for millennials once again? I mean, it says that millennials, all they do is waste their time. All they want to do is waste their time and waste their lives. And if it isn't video games like Bread was doing, it's ridiculous, dumb, pathetic deviations from actually taking responsibility. You know, they get into drug problems. I mean, I think that's where this big epidemic, if you want my opinion, that is hitting the millennial generation, the opioid epidemic, this is where this comes from. That's all this millennial generation knows how to do is like, you know what, if it feels good, do it, dude. You know, if it feels good, do it. You know, I'm going to be bisexual. I'm going to be trisexual. I'm going to try anything. I don't care. I'm a millennial. I'm going to do what I want, bitch. And listen, the reason I'm calling out the millennials is because, look, I'd like for you all to just step out of the way at this point. Step out of the goddamn way and let the younger generations come in and try to sweep up some of this man-child mess that you people have fucking putting forth in front of them. And the reason I say that, folks, is because, listen, some of these people that we kicked out of the inner circle in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, these millennials, late 20s, early 30s, they're now going after some of the teenage kids that happen to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, etc. 17, 16-year-old kids. And, you know, I am shocked at this. I am shocked that, first of all, you have men, all right, so-called men, that are out there and that are going after online, for whatever reason, and trolling and stalking and, you know, trying to intimidate children that are 16, 17 years of age. Now, why are they doing it? Because obviously they're a little upset at yours truly. You know, I've kind of put the truth in front of their stupid faces. They didn't like it, and now they think that they're going to do some trolly crap and think they're going to get back at me. Whatever. Okay, whatever. But I think that it just goes to show you how pathetic and how fucking much losers millennials are when you've got 30, 20-something, late 20-year-old men literally harassing, stalking children, 16, 17 years old, who are a part of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And look, this is why I wanted to get rid of, prior to the riffraff that we had to get rid of recently, prior to that, we were getting rid of all these sickos that had cartoon fetishes and, you know, that were, for whatever reason, sexualizing cartoons and whacking off to cartoon pornography. And there's a reason why I got rid of these people, because I don't want these sick fucking maniacs being around these kids that are drawn to this broadcast, that are 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. They're in college. They're the future. We should be nurturing these kids. We should be putting them with as much knowledge and as much wisdom so that they don't do what the fucked up, stupid, useless generation that is the millennials have done. I mean, do you understand that? But no, you've got 30-year-old men that are out here jealous of younger generations, because it seems that the younger generations may just be a hell of a lot better than they are in living life in general. And I think it's fucking pathetic. I think it's sick, and it's a testament to how bad of a loser generation the millennials are. And you know, even if they are successful, folks, just like I mentioned a few shows back about some of the inner circle members we had to kick out, like Sardine. You know, remember I talked about Sardine? Sardine was on his way. Are you kidding me? I mean, he had, he gave me insight on what he did in 2017. His cumulative assets was a little over 100 G's. And, you know, including his salary and what he got from the military, etc. And he had shit saved up. But you see, folks, just because you have money doesn't mean that you're set and that it's ballin'. And that's what each and every one of these millennials think. I have never seen a millennial take a large sum of money and do something worth a shit with it. I have never seen it. I knew a man who had a son, okay, who worked for a big company out here in Austin when I was in Austin. And for whatever reason, he did something. I don't know. He slipped. Who the fuck knows? I don't know the specifics of it. But he gets a settlement from this big corporation for like 40 grand cash. And folks, when you get settlements from corporations that way, you don't get taxed for that. So that's 40 grand flat. Now, he could have done anything with that 40 grand. And mind you, this was a millennial, okay? He could have done anything with that, but you know what he did? He decided that he was going to take, quote, a couple of years off of life and kind of just gradually burn the 40 grand until it was no longer there and he had to go back to work. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying, folks? I mean, I don't see anything out of the millennials other than being the most laziest, obnoxious, feels good, do it, lack of potential, lack of ambition, just waste of a generation. And I don't give a shit if you're a part of the millennials and you're listening to this and you're taking offense to it. You're a part of the problem, asshole. And if you're not, and if you're an exception to the rule, well, my apologies, but what have I always said on this fucking show? A group is defined by its majority. A group is defined by its majority. And we had a group of millennials that got kicked out of this goddamn inner circle that in 2017 had made a lot of money. They made the right decisions at that time. They were like, wait a minute, Ghost is right. Man, I mean, cryptocurrency is where it's at. Let me go ahead and buy a mining contract. Let me go purchase some Bitcoin. Let me get a Coinbase account. All this shit. And these guys made a lot of money. I'm talking about Sardine and Wannabe Conquistador and Thomas More and Inch High and Baldy. All of them guys. All of them. But once they realized that, oh shit, I made life decisions that I can't escape unless I work that much harder, unless I, put in that much more hours. I don't really want to do that, so I'm just going to take the easy way out and just accept my ridiculous fate. Or in Sardine's case, he figured that let me get with some, I'm going to go ahead and get a girlfriend, and she's making about $65,000 a year, and have her move in here with me, and I'll just go back to school for my 4th degree, and let the military pay for it, and Sardine's probably the biggest disappointment, because this is a guy who literally has taken a turn for the unfortunate worse. Unfortunate worse. And why? Because he thought, hey, I'm balling, and let me go ahead and get a 3-bedroom house, even though I don't have anybody or any family, and just saying. Anyway, look, I'm tired of talking to these millennials. And, a lot of these millennials that got kicked out of the inner circle that are men, that are having children, that are deaf or half black. And, I mean, these are men. And they're out here, they're trying to harass young kids, 17, 16, 19, 18 years old, when they should be helping these kids. When they should be nurturing these kids. They should be teaching these kids. They don't. Instead, they're going to, be internet little hooligans and try to harass these people. And it just goes to show you, man, that the millennials are a joke. They're an utter joke. And I'm tired of hearing about them, and I'm tired of hearing about them bitching. Because you are lost. You guys have already lost. You know that, right? I mean, if you're over the age of 24 at this point, and you're not started doing something, whether it's independently, whether it's climbing up a corporate ladder, whether it's climbing up the public sector or the fucking government or whatever, if you're not doing anything like that, then you have fucking lost the game of life. All right? Remember the game of life? You fucking lost it, millennials. And, you're so set in your fucking lazy-ass, dumb, imbecilic ways that you're not going to do one thing to change that. So, I'm just simply stating that when I'm doing this broadcast at this point in time, I mean, if millennials grasp something from it, if they learn something from it, if it makes their life better, more power to you. But I'm telling you right now, I am caring more about the younger generations than the boomer generations. Because the boomer generations are lost, they're losers, and even when they put themselves in their own bad predicaments, they don't want to take responsibility for what they do and either crawl or fucking run their way out of it. And what have I always said? They don't want to do it. They'd just rather be there and, I'm going to stay with my mom. I'm going to live with my mom. I work for a Fortune 500 company, but I'm going to live with my ma. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much more about that. I'm just simply stating, millennials, y'all have lost. All right? Every time you look at yourself in the mirror, just remember that you come from a shit generation, and, you've lost already. All right? You're the one that brought in all the stupid shit that we now currently call normal. There's more than one gender. There's more than 2 genders. There's like 80 genders. There's pansexual. There's sexual androgynous. There's two-spirited. There's queer. There's cis-man. Cis man? I can't believe people are calling themselves cis man. I mean, millennials brought in all this shit. The safe spaces, the ignorance, the stupidity. I mean, I'm not even kidding, man. I'm starting, I'm starting to not like the millennials at all, because they're the ones, their complacency, their stupidity, their ignorance, they're the reasons why we're here. So, I'm just saying, it's sad, and what are you going to do about it, I just hope that you young kids that are listening, I'm talking to anybody who's under the age of 24, okay? Anybody who's under the age of 24, do not do anything that the millennials have done. Don't take anything from this group of people. They have lost the game of life. Do not emulate them. Do not look up to them. Do not pay them any kind of respect unless they've earned it. Unless you find that exception to the rule, but I doubt it. But I'm just saying, you younger generations, do not do the same fucking mistakes as these assholes from the millennial generation. Do not do it, please. I mean, I beg you, all right? Learn from these morons' mistakes. And don't repeat it. Anyway, now that I've gotten that out of the way, I also want to talk a little bit very shortly about this circle jerk that's happening for John Turncoat McCain, okay? First of all, John McCain is a traitor. We've talked about it many times. The Tokyo Rose broadcast that was unearthed August 2016, that the media, for whatever reason, doesn't want to cover. They want to continue to make believe that this guy's some fucking hero when he was not. All right? And I'm sick and tired of, we're going to lay John McCain in state in the rotunda. And, I mean, did you fucking hear that they're thinking about renaming the headquarters of NATO to John McCain fucking headquarters? I'm not joking! Are you kidding me? John McCain, what did I tell you folks about John Turncoat McCain in 2008 when this son of a bitch was running for president? This son of a bitch is a goddamn liberal, and he always was. Hence, who was speaking at his fucking little eulogy out there? Jeff Flake. Huh? I mean, I heard he invited a couple of fucking Democrats. Of course he did. Of course, you know what else he did? I mean, this is how fucking sick this maniac was. He decided to have a Russian pallbearer so he could, quote, troll Trump. Fucking burn in hell, John McCain! You fucking traitor! Rest in piss, you fucking stupid shithead! I heard the goddamn Tokyo Rose recording, and you committed treason, sir. And the least that should have happened to you, you should have done time in Leavenworth for at least 10 or 15 years. And I'm being very, very generous, if you want my opinion. But you did not only did you not do time for that, but you got rewarded for being a perpetual fuck-up. John McCain accomplished nothing in his life. He was a failure at everything. Why don't you look up, prior to him being shot down in Vietnam and spending supposedly 5 years in the Hanoi Hilton out there, why don't you read about the Forrestal, the USS Forrestal fires, in which this stupid son of a bitch decided that, hey, I'm a maverick, I'm John McCain, and you know what I'm going to do? I don't like the guy in back of me. I'm going to pull off a wet start on my fighter jet so I could shake up this son of a bitch in the back of me because I don't like him. Because I'm John Turncoat motherfucking Maverick McCain. Well, guess what? This idiot tried to do a wet start in his fighter jet and fucking blew up the whole goddamn deck of the USS Forrestal. And that's on my fucking blog if you want to read about it. Just, take a look at Ghost.Report and scroll down a bit. John McCain is a traitor. And you'll read all about it. You'll actually see video about the USS Forrestal fires. And guess what? Nothing happened to John McCain for causing that fire. Why? Because his father was an admiral. And guess what? His grandfather was an admiral. So this son of a bitch, John McCain, has had his fucking bricks paved in his way, even though he was a perpetual fuck-up in his life. I'm tired of hearing about this stupid, disgusting, pathetic traitor of a human being. Rest in piss, John McCain. And you know, I read an article, I forgot where I read it, but they're trying to claim that, they're trying to bring up a lie. They're bringing up a lie about John McCain now, that he actually said things to the Vietnamese, the Viet Cong. Of course he did, you dumbass. Everybody who was in the Hanoi Hilton can corroborate this. I've heard people that have been fucking interviewed that said that this guy, John McCain, got special treatment, he got special food, he got special medical attention. Why? Because they knew they got an admiral's son. That's why. And he was singing like a fucking songbird. That's why they call him Songbird McCain. He is a fucking traitor. And I'm tired of seeing this stupid fucking moron dumbass casket. That shit should be dumped in a fucked up fucking swamp somewhere so it can be where it fucking belongs. John McCain was a fucking traitor. And that's all there is to it. All right. Anyway, I'm done with that. I don't want to see or hear about John McCain again. You know, they're talking about having 5 days worth of coverage on this son of a bitch. Why? Why? Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, let's talk crypto, okay? I'm talking about something else. Let's talk cryptocurrencies. Now, within the past couple of days, folks, we've had a pretty decent bull run in crypto. A lot of that has to do with the, what do I always tell you about the U.S. dollar index? Huh? If you're listening to this broadcast, you know how to make money in crypto by now. You take a look at the U.S. dollar index. When that son of a bitch goes down, cryptocurrency goes up. And if you take a look at the U.S. dollar index now, it is down. Actually, today it's down modestly. It wasn't down like it was for the past couple of days. I mean, I think in the past couple of days it went out almost 2%. Almost 2% in the past couple of days. Here we are. We're starting to level off now in the cryptocurrency market. I think that you're starting to see people take profits, if you want my opinion. And I'm just basing that on the charts that I'm looking at in front of my face here. But never fret. I don't think the U.S. dollar is going to see... Well, let me take this back. I think we may see a run on the U.S. dollar as some of these countries decide that they're going to do business with America and they're going to renegotiate trade deals. Be prepared for those runs on those dollars. Okay? I mean, Canada's now talking about wanting to come to the damn negotiating table again now that the United States has announced that Mexico and the United States have a trade deal. Now Canada's like, oh my, no, I want to be a part of it, eh? So, according to Larry Kudlow, which is an economic advisor for the president, I heard him in an interview on Sunday that he suggests that they're having very, very good reception with the folks in the EU. They have very, very good reception with other folks that we have renegotiated with. And as these damn things come to fruition, in my opinion, I think we're going to see slight spikes on the dollar on that news. And when we see spikes in the dollar on that news, we're going to see contraction in cryptocurrency. But I think those spikes are going to be very short-lived. I think they're going to be very short-lived, and I don't think that they're going to be permanent. And I see, if you want my opinion, a downtrend in the dollar based upon the fact that the Treasury has to continue to raise yields on bond auctions. Now, we've talked about bond auctions before. What's happening here is the Treasury has to have an auction of bonds. We sell bonds in the world market. Now, those bonds are our debt. And we have to have people buy these bonds so that these people can fund our debt. everybody's asking, well, Ghost, who the hell do we owe the $21 trillion in debt to? These are the people that we owe it to. We owe it to whoever is buying the debt, whoever is holding our U.S. bonds. Now, because, United States is flexing nuts, we're renegotiating trade deals, there's not too many people that want to come and buy our debt anymore because they're trying to be jerks about it. They're like, oh, the United States, you're no longer going to allow us with the imbalance trade deal, eh? No, well, fuck you, we'll not buy your debt no more, eh? And as a result, we don't have as many investors attracted at these bond auctions that the Treasury is having. So as a result, to make it more attractive to investors, the Treasury has to raise the percentage yields of those bonds. And when you have to raise those percentage yields of those bonds, that doesn't spell very well for at least the future of America, because at some point in time, these people that are buying these bonds at these high yields are going to want to cash out once the bond has matured, and we as Americans have to account for that as a part of our budget. So as a result, like I said, man, I see a lot of downward trend, at least from my perspective, as it pertains to the U.S. dollar. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at the cryptocurrency market right now. Cryptocurrency market capitalization right now, folks, is at $229 billion. That's pretty nice, wasn't it? I remember, I think on Friday, we were somewhere around the range of 202, 203. Take a look at that. $229 billion market capitalization for the entire cryptocurrency market. Now, let's go ahead and continue. Let's talk some crypto. Bitcoin, it's over $7,000, baby. I'm telling you, what did I tell you about the run on Bitcoin? And what have I told you, man? It's going to happen. You just have to wait for this damn rise in Bitcoin. What's making me judge this? Well, there's a lot of factors. The main factor is you've got this damn media, the regular mainstream business media, hyping up these so-called experts. And most of them are all talking about, hey, Bitcoin at 20,000, 25,000, 50,000 at the end of the year. They're talking this year. Now, I don't think it's going to get anywhere near there, but I think that by the end of this year, we could easily hit 15 grand. And I've said that, and I'm going to continue to stand by that. 15 grand. Now, for whatever reason, we go beyond that 15 grand threshold, and we go above 20 grand, the sky's the limit. But I'm not hyping that. I am not prognosticating that. I am prognosticating, though, that by the end of the year, we should have Bitcoin touching somewhere in the range of 12 to 15 grand. And we're already seeing it there. Look at 7 grand. Let's take a look at it right now. All right, Bitcoin, BTC is the symbol. Market capitalization is $121 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 17.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we are seeing a little bit of a level off because, as I said, folks, we're seeing people take profits here. Negative 0.45% decrease. So it's down a little less than 0.5% in the 24-hour period. Current price for Bitcoin, folks, is $7,046.08 per Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum. I don't know what the hell's happening with Ethereum, folks. I would, once again, I've always been tentative about Ethereum. I liked it in 2017 because the prices were right, folks. And, I mean, if you bought Ethereum when I was hyping it up back in 2017, April and May, I mean, the damn Ethereum was like at $25, $20, $40, depending anywhere in that range that you bought it and held it. You'd still be up. But the reason we're not seeing these major increases in Ethereum, folks, is because Vitalik, the guy who created Ethereum, the smart contracts, Solidity, all that stuff, the guy who's in charge of this stupid coin, is now talking about lowering the mining rewards. So for all you folks that have any kind of Ethereum mining rigs or mining contracts, heed this warning. Vitalik is talking about potentially pulling back the yields for mining because they now want to transition into the proof of stake the proof of stake portion of the evolution of the coin. And I don't know whether or not that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing, because once again, folks, the circulating supply for Ethereum, I mean, it's up there. Let's just let me cover it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Ethereum, ETH is the symbol. Market capitalization is $29 billion market cap. All right. Now, the circulating supply, this is where I'm telling you everyone should be cautious on top of whatever the fuck Vitalik is talking about. 101 million in circulation. Now, I don't know about you, but it seems to me that Ethereum is really just kind of mining out these damn coins rather fast. I mean, it wasn't but maybe a few months ago, I would say 5-6 months ago, that we were at 98 million circulation. Now we're at 101 million in circulation. And moreover, folks, if you do click on Ethereum on CoinMarketCap, there is no total circulation for this damn coin. There is no total circulation. So technically, we're dealing with an overpriced Dogecoin here with Ethereum. And the only selling aspect of Ethereum is the smart contract technology, but the smart contract technology right now has shown that it's vulnerable to all kinds of shit. I mean, I heard that they recently almost hacked Binance of a whole bunch of Ethereum because of some buffer stack overflow in the smart contract solidity framework. So, once again, folks, I mean, be careful on Ethereum. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but this is why the cryptocurrency's been dragging price-wise. Let's take a look at it. Once again, 101 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum has gone down 2.22%. Current price for Ethereum, folks, is $289.25 per Ethereum. Let's get to Bitcoin Cash. Now, folks, I mean, like I said, every time I say I like a coin, man, things start popping. And I like Bitcoin Cash, especially at these rates. You're going to have to hold on here for about 6 months or so before you start seeing 1,500, 1,800, those types of prices when it comes to Bitcoin Cash. Lest we forget, we've got people holding the bag on this thing as high as like $4,000. So I like this one a lot. And not to mention, it does what Bitcoin does, but faster, better, and a less transaction fee. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin Cash. Take a look at it. The symbol for Bitcoin Cash is BCH. Current market cap is $9.5 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply for Bitcoin Cash, BCH, is 17.3 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, folks, we have seen Bitcoin Cash go down 1.92%. Current price for Bitcoin Cash right now, folks, is $554.27 per Bitcoin Cash. Let's continue going here, folks. Litecoin. Let's get to Litecoin. Now, we shall see what happens with Litecoin. I think, it's a little undervalued. It's a little undervalued. There's a lot of reasons why I still think that there's still some value in this coin. You've got bag holders up to about $300. The only reason that this damn coin has fluttered and has gone into the position that it's in currently is because of its fucking creator, Charlie Lee. Now, Charlie Lee, for whatever reason, is going into the banking industry. Now, of course, that defeats the whole purpose of the decentralization of monetary systems with cryptocurrency, but it does put him in the driver's seat to potentially integrate Litecoin to some financial institution. There's that angle, and moreover, this is a fairly decent alternative to fiat currency because not only is it a very fast coin in the current terms, but it's also a low transaction fee. And the circulation is comparable to, and the price point as well is comparable to make it an alternative to fiat. Once again, the reason that I believe Bitcoin itself, BTC, will never be an alternative to fiat is because of the extreme volatility that we have in Bitcoin. I mean, you cannot have a currency that businesses and services and independent contractors are going to accept if the damn fluctuation of the currency goes from 7,000 to 14,000 back to 6,000, I mean, they're not going to do it. We need something within a certain range that makes it comparable to use as a means of exchanging goods and services. And I mean, I'm not saying it has to be like regulated stable, but I mean, it has to not jump massively like Bitcoin does. I mean, this damn thing will jump up or down in the thousands. And whether or not you're getting paid in Bitcoin or you're paying in Bitcoin, you could lose or gain a lot of money just in a transaction. So this is why I always say, whenever I suggest something is a possible alternative to fiat, those are the factors that I'm factoring in. All right, so let's get to Litecoin, LTC. Current market cap is $3.5 billion market capitalization. Circulating supply is 58 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Litecoin has gone down 1.53% decrease. Current price for Litecoin, $61.98 per Litecoin. Let's go to Monero, folks. Monero, it's a little flat today to say the least, but once again, when it was on the contraction side of the market, I was suggesting that this is what? A pattern or swing trading play. I always say it. It likes to run. I am not a long-term investor at all in Monero. I'm just letting everybody know that I cover this because it's a short-term play. I mean, it's 89 bucks 1 minute, 110 the next. You know what I'm saying? There's some good liquidity to be making that. Let's get to Monero, folks. $1.6 billion market cap. XMR is the symbol for Monero, by the way. XMR. Monero, $1.6 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply for Monero is 16.3 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone down 3.51%. Current price for Monero, $103.53 per Monero. Let's take a look at Dash, folks. Now, Dash is coming down after going up and up and up. It's gone up like at least what? At least 70 or 80% since the news came out that not only is Dash being widely accepted in Venezuela and in other parts of South America, but they have integrated, I'm talking about Dash, has integrated themselves into a certain cellular phone technology, making it a lot easier to transfer Dash from one person to the next. So Dash is really making a pretty good move in trying to make mass adaptation of Dash being used as a means of exchanging goods and services in South America, because why? South American currencies, I'm talking fiat currencies, are going to crap. So, people out there, they still want to live. They still need to exchange goods and services. If you're a business owner, you still need a means of having people pay. This is it, folks. Dash. I'm not joking. Look into this, man. I mean, mass acceptance in South America right now. DASH is the symbol, and I've always said I like Dash. Why, folks? Very quick transaction speed, low transaction fee, and take a look at the goddamn circulation. It's a nice low circulation. And folks, regardless of what people say, there is a direct correlation with how many cryptocurrency tokens are available out in circulation and the price. Anyway, let's take a look at Dash, folks. Once again, $1.5 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply, folks, 8.2 million. Very low. 8.2 million Dash in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Dash has gone down 3.52%. Current price for Dash, $187.87 per Dash. Telling you, folks, I mean, remember, we got people holding the bag on Dash up to $1,300 bucks. Let's take a look at Ethereum Classic. Now, why am I covering Ethereum Classic? Well, aside from it being accepted now on the Coinbase mainnet, it seems to be the alternative to Ethereum. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, okay? Now, what's going to happen is, once Vitalik from ETH, Ethereum, decides that he's going to, for whatever reason, decide to lower the mining rewards so that he can convert the staking aspect of the coin into proof of stake. When that happens, folks, I'm expecting a lot of Ethereum miners going right to Ethereum Classic. And if you want my opinion, I think that's going to raise the Ethereum Classic price. I think that now you're going to see Ethereum Classic being more of a viable alternative to Ethereum, because Ethereum Classic is basically Ethereum. The only difference is that Ethereum Classic is ran by a consortium group, and Ethereum ETH is ran by Vitalik and a couple of other people. And basically, Vitalik, on a whim, I don't know if you've ever seen Vitalik, but the guy who created Ethereum, I mean, he's a fucking sick-looking pothole, fruity-ass little... I mean, he looks weird, is all I'm saying. I wouldn't want that asshole in charge of anything, let alone a currency. But this is what Ethereum Classic, this is why it's attractive, and I'm giving people the heads up on this. Once Vitalik announces that he's lowering the mining rewards for Ethereum, I would strongly advise looking at Ethereum Classic, because all those miners are going right to Ethereum Classic. ETC is the symbol. Current market cap is $1.3 billion market cap for Ethereum Classic. The circulating supply, 104 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum Classic has gone down 1.32%. Current price for Ethereum Classic, $13.03 per Ethereum Classic, folks. Now, let's go ahead and get to Zcash. I like Zcash. A lot of reasons for it. I think that it is far superior to Monero's privacy coin or privacy token. I think that the circulation is good. I like the fact that you got a lot of people invested in Zcash that are legit Wall Street types. I mean, a lot of things that I like about Zcash. That's why I cover it. Let's take a look at it today. I mine it, by the way, as well. And it's a very good mining coin. Now, the mining rewards have gone down because, as I stated, folks, they are now allowing ASIC mining, which is going to really bring down the amount of reward for mining, because you're going to have, you know, people with these maniac ASIC mining fucking rigs that are going to be juicing most of the transactions in the mining process. So keep that in mind. But either way, you still got a very low circulation in Zcash. And I like this. I think that there should be no reason why this isn't a $1,000 coin, in my view. I think this is a very good coin. Zcash, ZEC. Current market cap for Zcash is $721 million in market capitalization. The circulating supply for Zcash is 4.6 million. See how low that is? 4.6 million in circulation in the past 24 hours. Zcash has gone down very lightly. It's down 0.02%. Current price for Zcash, folks, $153.98 per Zcash. All right, let's go ahead and get to Quantum, folks. QTUM. Now, I want to be honest with you, folks. We're starting to see an uptrend on Quantum. Not to mention that Quantum here, and let me tell you, here in the next month or month and a half, they are going to finally fully release the x86 virtual machine that creates the smart contract technology in Quantum. And when that happens, folks, I'm telling you, this is going to be the leader in cryptocurrency. And listen, I think I've talked about it extensively on the last broadcast, but I do want to reiterate that some of these smart contract technologies that are being developed, they're being developed privately. Now, QTUM is being very proprietary about their, new baby, the x86 virtual machine, because what it's going to mean is that decentralized app developers, DApps for short, can now program smart contract technology using other languages other than Solidity. Now, Solidity, of course, was created by Vitalik, and that's why it's got a lot of bugs in it, to say the least. But in this context, QTUM, Quantum, you could be able to create a decentralized app with languages other than Solidity, like C, like Python, like Rust, etc. And that's what's going to separate, like I said, QTUM from everybody else out there in the cryptocurrency market. Now, since we've been waiting for the value of this thing to kind of blow up, what's made it also so attractive, folks, is that it's been so low that you could be accumulating this and accumulating this and accumulating this, and you could literally just be making money off of the staking. You know, that's why Vitalik, to be honest with you, wants to go to a proof of stake kind of a concept, because proof of stake is where it's at. Meaning that, first of all, just hear me out for a second. You are encouraging the community that accepts QTUM to save QTUM in their wallets so that their wallets can be online and stake more quantum just for holding it online. Now, I don't know if I told you on the last broadcast, folks, but the Inner Circle, we have programmed, and I'm not going to give it out to anybody because it's Inner Circle, baby, you know what I'm saying? But we programmed a very easy script for people in the Inner Circle to take a Raspberry Pi, all right, run this script, download a goddamn quantum wallet, and just allow the damn Raspberry Pi to hold the quantum and just to have that shit staked 24 hours a day without running the amount of electricity that you would if you were running it off a laptop or off a computer, etc. So, you know, ever since we kicked out, you know, Sardine and Wannabe Conquistador and Thomas More and Inch High and Baldy, I mean, we're doing things, baby. That's what the Inner Circle's about, man. That's why I keep telling you, man. I mean, we're not putting up with this crap, man. It's serious business here. But anyway, you know, this is what you want to do. You want something that has a return on not only holding the coin, but when the coin's value goes up. And not to mention, there's going to be more QRC20 tokens, lest we forget that Quantum QTUM is its own token. So there's going to be other coins made from the QRC20 token, and you're going to get those tokens delivered right in your goddamn wallet, just like all of us that held Quantum got Bodhi delivered into our wallet. And we're going to continue to, I mean, look, folks, I would not be covering this. This would not be my biggest holding if I didn't think that this was going to take the same trajectory as Ethereum. And watch, you know, when this damn thing is $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 plus, I hope everybody that was waiting, just like Warren Buffett, and accumulating during the fucking low times, I hope that y'all become filthy rich and y'all remember old Ghost over here, because let me tell you, I told you so. Anyway, Quantum, let's go ahead and take a look at it. QTUM is the symbol. Market capitalization is 427 million market cap. The circulating supply, 88 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Quantum has gone up 0.53%. It's one of the few coins that are up right now. Current price for Quantum is $4.85. Now, we saw it go as high as $5 early this morning, but we're seeing sell-offs. It's only a matter of time, baby. And listen, that x86 virtual machine technology comes out in a couple of months, and just wait for that. And on top of waiting for that, wait for the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF, which is going to bring in more billions of dollars of market capitalization to the entire cryptocurrency market. So there's a lot to look up to, man. I mean, that's why I keep telling everybody who's listening, even if you don't understand cryptocurrency, even if you don't understand trading, whatever, just buy cryptocurrency and hold it. Buy cryptocurrency and hoard it. I mean, especially you young kids out here, man. I mean, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. I mean, mommy and daddy are going to give you something. Tell them, you know what? You want crypto. You want cryptocurrency. And when you have cryptocurrency in your name, you can say you have a portfolio, man. I mean, this is not a joke. This is adult investment shit. I know that the millennials have a hard time understanding that, but I hope that some of you young kids understand it. That, hey, money's serious business. You know, and the more money you have, the more you can do. You can do whatever you want. I mean, give me a break. Now, just because you have a little money right now, or just because you have some big stream of income right now, doesn't mean that you should just go fucking nuts. But I'm just saying, folks, you always have to think about money. Money makes the world go round, and it makes life a hell of a lot better. Believe me, it does. Anyway, let's continue going here. Let's go to 42 Coin, my second biggest holding here. 42 Coin, folks, once again, continues to go up with the market. Market capitalization is almost at $1 million. It's at 992,000. The circulating supply for 42 Coin is 42 coins, folks. In the past 24 hours, 42 Coin has gone up 13.55%. And like I said, 42 Coin is what? It's a long-term investment, it's a hedge against contractions, and it's a short or pattern trading play. Just saying. All right, look at it. It's up 13.55% today. Current price for 42 Coin, $23,632.13 per 42 Coin. And that concludes the cryptocurrency coverage of today. Let's go ahead and talk some stocks, shall we? Let's go ahead and talk stocks. Now, stocks are continuing to reach all-time highs. What did I tell each and every one of you folks in 2017? Right after the goddamn tax cut. I said I am bullish for 2018 stock market, and by God, the prognosticator of prognosticators strikes again. All-time highs in the stock market, and yet you ask any of these bedwetting liberals out here on whether or not they like Trump, they're like, I don't know, I don't like him. He grabbed him by the pussy, and he said all that stuff, and shut up! Just shut up! But I hope people were listening. I mean, look, I hate to reiterate this, but I started True Capitalist Radio, folks, when the Dow Jones Industrial was at 8,000 points. This was back in 2010, 2011. And I was telling everybody, doesn't matter how much money you have, whatever you got saved, buy a blue chip stock in the Dow Jones Industrial and hold it. I kept telling people to do that. I hope people listened. I know some people did. Most didn't. And because they didn't, they're the same losers, millennial losers, that bitch and moan saying, man, it's not fair, man. It's not fair. I was telling you idiots to buy and hold back then, and y'all didn't. And now y'all ain't worth shit like y'all weren't shit back then. So, you know, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about it? Unless we forget the reason that we're rallying in the stock market today is, guess what? Fucking 4.2% GDP growth, baby, huh? How about some of that? 4.2% GDP growth. God damn, it feels good to be in Trump's economy, huh? Feels goddamn good, man. Anyway, let's get to the Dow Jones Industrial here. We've got the Dow Jones up 60.55 points, a percentage increase of 0.23%, closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 26,124.57 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. Let's get to the S&P 500. S&P 500 is up 16.52 points, a percentage increase of 0.57%, closing out the S&P at 2,914.04 points for the S&P 500. Let's get to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is up, folks, 79.65 points, a percentage increase of 1%. 1% on the day. Current value, closing out the Dow Jones, closing out the NASDAQ, at 8,109.69 points. You know, I remember trading back in the 90s, man, and people were going nuts. We were, fucking the whole goddamn investment community back in the 90s were circle jerking For Dow Jones, 5,000 points, man. Look at it now. It is 8,109.69 points. Jesus Christ, man. I told you, bullish market, baby. I told you guys. I wish some of you listen instead of doing stupid-ass fucking memes and, hey, I'm a 30-year-old boomer, and yeah, I'm going to have a half-black kid. I'm going to have a deaf kid, and yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm single, and I got about 120,000 saved up, and I think I'm going to buy a 3-bedroom house now, and anyway, folks, we are now in the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, all right, and let everybody you know across the internet and throughout the world, let them all know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And once again, we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website, baby, of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now. Type this in your browser, okay? And once again, add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites, ghost.report. It's as simple as that, all right? Type that in your goddamn browser. Add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.report. All right, and by the way, folks, before I move on, I want to remind everybody that we've got some mining contracts available at genesis-mining.com, and they are very, very attractive as far as I'm concerned. I particularly like the Dash contracts in this particular set of contracts available at genesis-mining.com. Let me go ahead and repost this. Take a look at my Gab. All right, look at my Gab right now. Take a look at those 2-year Dash contracts. Once again, we're seeing mass adaptation of Dash going on out there in South America. Lots of things going right. I think these are very, very ripe for the taking. So take a look at my Gab right now, genesis-mining.com. And, of course, if you are thinking about purchasing a mining contract, use the discount code, baby. You got to have the discount code. Use the discount code WEA296. Once again, the genesis-mining.com discount code is WEA296. Look, I'm just trying to tell you what the best thing to get into is. I'm just trying to plant seeds out here. I'm just trying to make people better capitalists, baby. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to make people better capitalists out here. And before we get into anything else, what's going on in the True Capitalist Radio chat room? If you have not done so already, get yourself a free account at gab.ai. That's gab.ai in your browser. Get yourself a free goddamn account there. It's the last bastion of freedom of speech and social media today. And once you do, folks, follow me. Follow me on Gab under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby, and I'm going to be in there after the broadcast like I always am, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, follow the following instructions. Go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost. Once you're there, click the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab. Private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will send you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room in Discord. It's that damn simple. And like I said, anybody who is subscribing to the True Capitalist Radio premium subscription on Gab, starting in September, we are going to give out we are going to mail out a physical newsletter to everybody who wants one, baby. Every month. so we can keep in contact, baby. We're not going to allow any of these damn internet censors to try to stop us. We ain't going to allow them to do it. We're not going to do it. Anyway, folks, and by the way, for all y'all that are asking about merch, hey, there's merch available. You know that, right? There is merchandise available. I know that college time has already started. School time has already started. Get yourself some goddamn controversial merch, for Christ's sake, man. Wear it around there. Come on. All you got to do, type in your browser right now, ghost.market. That's all you got to do. All right, add that to your bookmarks. Add that to your favorites. Ghost.market in your browser. And take a look at those threads, man. Take a look at the apparel out there. You know what I mean? Make a fucking statement. Show you got some bulls. All right? Ghost.market. All right, now that we got that all out of the way, let's go ahead and go to commodities so we can finish off the financial component of the broadcast. Let's take a look at energy. Energy right now, WTI sweet crude is up 13 cents, a percentage increase of 0.19%. Closing out WTI sweet crude at $69.64 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. We've got Brent crude up 12 cents, a percentage increase of 0.16%. Current price for Brent crude is $77.26 per barrel of Brent crude oil. We've got gasoline up 0.30%. Natural gas is up 1.51%. Heating oil is up 0.21% for heating oil. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the damn metals. We've got gold up modestly 40 cents, a percentage increase of 0.03%, closing out gold at $1,211.90 per troy ounce of gold. Silver is down modestly. It is down 2 cents, a percentage decrease of 0.17%, closing out silver at $14.79 per troy ounce of silver. We've got copper down today, 0.31%, and platinum is down 0.24%. Good God. Let's go ahead and get to the agriculture. Grains, we've got corn up 0.42%. Wheat is up 1.11%. Oats is up 0.50%. Rough rice is up 0.32%. Soybean is up 0.30%. Soybean oil is up 0.11%. And canola is up 0.12%. Let's go ahead and get to the softs, shall we? Cocoa, the base for chocolate, which is mostly produced in Africa, is up today 1.25%. We've got coffee down 0.15%. Sugar is up 0.58%. Orange juice is down 0.23%. Cotton is down 0.98%. Lumber is down 2.14%. Good God. We've got rubber up 0.41%. Looks like people are using rubbers nowadays. Ethanol is down 2.16% decrease for ethanol. Let's get to livestock, shall we? We've got live cattle up very modestly, 0.23%. We've got cattle feeder down 0.02%. And folks, lean hogs is down 0.87%. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass. Anyway, folks, now that we've gotten through the market, let me go ahead and take a swig of some cola here. And by the way, we're almost at 60 days, baby. We're almost at 60 days, no alcohol. And I want to be honest with you, I really do want to drink. But I'm going to try my damnedest not to drink this weekend, and I'm going to keep going. Because I actually, like, my mind's like, man, you want a beer, Ghost, all right? You want to shoot like a triple shot of some great-ass scotch, you know, all this stuff. But my body is saying, no, man, don't do it. Let us heal up inside a little more, all right? We need to heal up a little more before you start, you know, shooting the sauce out here, all right? Before you start getting bottles of hooch and start chugging it. All right, let the body heal. So that's why I'm continuing to drink this, you know, cola. You know, a soft drink. I guess that's why they call it a fucking soft drink, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and go right into the nitty-gritty because we got a lot of shit to talk about on this 611th edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It is the last Wednesday of August. It is August 29, 2018. Let's talk a little bit about the president. Last night, folks, was the Florida and the Arizona primaries, folks, and guess who's the big winner last night? None other than the president himself. If you take a look at the nominees, or I should say the people that were trying to run for different positions in Florida, every one of the president's endorsees, I should say, they won hands down. I mean, you take a look at Florida, the guy running for governor out there, he won the primary hands down by 20 points. I'm talking about Ron DeSantis. DeSantis is running for governor of Florida, and unfortunately, he is going to have to run against a Bernie Sanders-backed candidate. Can you believe this shit? Yeah, now on the Republican side in Florida, we got Ron DeSantis, right? On the Democrat side, we've got this Bernie Sanders socialist candidate, the former mayor of Tallahassee, none other than Andrew Gillum. Now, Andrew Gillum, folks, if you want my opinion, I think that he is the affirmative action candidate. He did Obama on us because he is African, or black. I hate saying African American, for Christ's sake. He's black. Now, what I find very odd is that this guy, Andrew Gillum, came out of nowhere. I mean, he was not expected to win the primary in this Florida race as it pertained to the Democrats. He came from 4th place down to winning the actual nomination. Now, what makes Andrew Gillum peculiar, aside from the fact that he was backed up by Bernie Sanders and that he's a socialist, Andrew Gillum was the mayor of Tallahassee. I believe he's still the mayor of Tallahassee, if I'm not mistaken. And unfortunately, he and his city council are under investigation by the FBI. Yeah. I mean, what is it with, like, anybody around Bernie Sanders and the FBI? Y'all remember Bernie Sanders' wife, right? I mean, whatever happened with that case? She was being investigated by the FBI for bank fraud. Now you've got another Bernie Sanders candidate that he endorsed that is under the investigation of the FBI. Now, let me go ahead and read this article by the Tampa Bay Times, okay? It's called What We Know and Don't Know About the FBI Investigation Hanging Over Andrew Gillum's Campaign. Okay, and then the underline on that headline says, it's likely that Democratic primary voters won't know the case outcome before they head to the polls, which was yesterday. Now, Andrew Gillum's campaign for governor hasn't been the luckiest. Just a few months into the Tallahassee's mayor run, FBI agents delivered a subpoena to his city hall in June of 2017, requesting thousands of pages of records from key players in the city government. The investigation has been dodged by Gillum's campaign, with new developments dripping out with unpredictable frequency. The FBI is usually tight-lipped about pending matters. Although Gillum has not been named in any subpoenas, it's likely that the Democratic primary voters won't know the case outcome before they head to the polls, which was yesterday. Now, here's 3 questions about the FBI investigation into the Tallahassee government and how it relates to the Florida race, okay? Number 1, what is Gillum's connection to the case, okay? Now, starting in 2015, FBI agents came to town posing as businessmen. Now, what the hell? Wait a minute. Hold on. What had been tipped off if FBI are sending agents acting as businessmen to Tallahassee? Okay, well, look, forget about that. Let's continue. Anyway, starting in 2015, FBI agents came to the town posing as businessmen considering investments in the city of Tallahassee. The 3 men, who reportedly identified themselves as Mike Sweets, Mike Miller, and Brian Butler, spent months cozying up to city officials and people close to them. The FBI investigation, based in part on their undercover work, has yielded several rounds of subpoenas, but no charges yet. A slew of Tallahassee officials and insiders have been named in those subpoenas over the past year. According to those documents, which you can read, and they give a link there, the part of the investigation that could be most relevant to Gilliam centers around the city's community redevelopment agency, which steers private and public money to for revitalization and infrastructure projects. There it is. Money, I'm telling you, these socialists, they don't want to earn a living. They want to rip off a living. And what better way to, do what these subpoenas are suggesting here, steering public and private money and having some of that go right in your pocket. I mean, no wonder, all right? Anyway, let's continue. One of the officials in the crosshairs of the FBI, lobbyist Adam Corey, was a longtime Gilliam friend and ally until Gilliam cut ties with him last year. Anyway, let's continue. In 2013, the Communities Redevelopment Agency voted to give $1.3 million in tax money to help a Corey-associated restaurant project, the Edison. Here it is. Here's all the kickbacks. Here's the rigged system that Donald Trump always talks about. Anyway, Gilliam voted with the rest of his fellow city commissioners who sit on the CRA to fund the project. At the time, Gilliam's vote raised eyebrows because of his close association with Corey. 1 year later, Corey served as the treasurer of Gilliam's mayoral campaign. Oh my God. Isn't this typical Democrat fucking business as usual? Oh my God. And there's more. There's more to this. According to the Democrat, Corey became close friends with Miller, the FBI agent, reportedly introducing Gilliam to the undercover agent sometime in 2016. One of the reported meetings between Corey, Gilliam, and Miller at the Edison in May of that year became a point of controversy when the Democrat reported that Corey scheduled the meeting while on vacation with Gilliam and other city lobbyists in Costa Rica. Oh my God. I mean, what the fuck? We got city officials and mayors going to trips to Costa fucking Rica? Who's funding that shit? Anyway, Gilliam has maintained he did not discuss business on the Costa Rica trip, that's obviously a fucking lie. I mean, according to the report here. The trip was merely a vacation with longtime friends, he has said. Gilliam also said he paid for his entire portion of the getaway. Yeah, right. He probably paid for it after he got busted. Anyway, Gilliam also joined Corey and Miller in New York in August of 2016. At the end of the business trip, Gilliam took in his capacity with the Liberal People for the American Way Foundation. In an email inviting Gilliam to meet up in New York, Corey noted that Miller had arranged hotel rooms, an outing to a Mets game, and a boat trip to the Statue of Liberty, the Democrat reported. Gilliam's group may have also attended a performance of the hit musical Hamilton. Gilliam did not confirm to the Democrat whether he attended the baseball game or the show, but there are pictures of Mayer and Corey on the boat ride. Jesus Christ. Gilliam has said he did not allow Miller to pay for any part of the trip to New York. And his office calendar from that time reportedly said he stayed at a different hotel. Okay, yeah, great. So how does all these pieces fit together? Miller, the undercover agent, wanted the city to expand the jurisdiction of the Communities Redevelopment Agency to include a parcel of land Miller said he would develop. He solicited Corey's help to achieve that goal, and in 2016, the CRA, of which Gilliam is the chair, voted unanimously to expand the jurisdiction. I mean, give me a fucking break with this guy. Oh, my God. I mean, look, the bottom line is this, okay? I mean, I didn't want to go on and on about this Gilliam, but once again, much like this stupid, dumb broad, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, how she miraculously won this Democratic primary in New York. The media is plastered her. They have over-promoted her. There's even a fucking article out here saying or suggesting, is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez the next Obama? Well, the reason I am covering Gillum and his corruption is because they're starting to do that with Gillum. They're starting to do that now because a black guy happened to miraculously win the Democratic primary for governor. All right, and he was he was endorsed by Bernie Sanders, and they're going to go the same route. All right, mark my words, they're already doing it now. They're going to do the same thing with Andrew Gillum that they did with the stupid, dumb, I'm a girl from the Bronx, bitch. I'm a girl from the Bronx, bitch, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I just want you to know that these people are a bunch of corrupt pieces of crap. Now, I want to be honest with you. Right now, you have DeSantis, who gave an interview to Fox News this morning. And Ron DeSantis, he pulled an old Howard Cosell. Y'all remember what Howard Cosell? Well, just look at what got Howard Cosell fired. This is exactly what Ron DeSantis did. Now, I don't know if he intentionally did this. I don't know if he knew what he was saying, but it's rather shocking and funny at the same time, all right? Anyway, Ron DeSantis, the guy who won the Republican primary in Florida for governor yesterday by 20 points, was on Fox News this morning talking about his competitor, the guy who's running against him, Andrew Gillum, and said the following: we don't need Andrew Gillum and his socialism monkeying around Florida like he monkeyed around. Hold on. You know, I want to, let me get that goddamn clip, engineer. I don't want to misquote DeSantis. All right, I know. Y'all gotta hear this, man. I'm not even kidding. I mean, I'm not even kidding, man. Let's take a look at this. We're gonna go ahead and put it on. All right, here he is. Where the hell is it? I mean, they haven't even put it up. I'm surprised the Democrats haven't went on that. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna put the unfortunate what the hell's his name? Smith. What the hell's his name? Shepard Smith interview that he had here. Here, let's go ahead and look at this. All right, you got it, engineer? All right, he's giving me an okay. All right, here we go. Let me turn this down here. Listen to this. This is DeSantis here talking about monkeying around. Here it is.
He is an articulate spokesman for those far-left views, and he's a charismatic candidate. The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by trying to embrace a socialist agenda with huge tax increases and bankrupting the state.
Now, look, I don't know if DeSantis knew what he was saying. I mean, you know, because, I mean, you know, monkeying it up, I mean, you know, it's a figure of speech. I mean, you know, well, who's running the office? A bunch of monkeys? You know, we've heard that speech before, but I mean, I don't know what he said. I want to hear that one more again. Let's hear him one more again.
He is an articulate spokesman for those far-left views, and he's a charismatic candidate. The last thing we need to do is to monkey this up by trying to embrace a socialist agenda with huge tax increases and bankrupting the state.
Last thing we need to do is monkey this up. I mean, that's pretty bad. I don't know. I mean, look, I like DeSantis. I hope he wins the governor's race. But I hope he doesn't monkey it up. How about that? I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, man. I mean, if y'all don't remember the Howard Cosell incident that made, unfortunately, Howard Cosell end his career, what happened was, I forgot who was running in for a touchdown. Somebody had caught a pass, and obviously it was a black player, okay? And he caught the pass, and he was running his ass off, all right? He was running his ass off, and Howard Cosell goes like this: "Oh, he caught the pass, and look at that monkey go. Look at him run as fast as he can." I'm not even kidding. Now, to Howard Cosell's credit, I don't think that he was racist in that regard, because he used to call his little granddaughter, monkey. You little monkey, and, oh, monkey. Anyway, DeSantis did a little bit of a Howard Cosell. All right, and, that's what ended Howard Cosell's career. I'm not even kidding, man. I mean, look at that little monkey go. Hey, it's funny, all right? Come on, get out of your safe spaces, for Christ's sake, man. Jesus Christ, let me get a cola here. Anyway, I'm still for DeSantis, even though he monkeyed that up. I'm still for DeSantis, because I sure as hell ain't for no goddamn Bernie Sanders ass clown who's out here conducting corrupt business at a city level. I mean, what do you want to go ahead and elect him so he can have corrupt business at a state level? Get the hell out of here, right? But anyway, we also had McSally win a nomination for the Republicans out there in Arizona to take the place of Jeff Flake. Now, I got mixed views on McSally, I want to be honest with you. She had a little bit of a problem back in the day when the Grabbing by the Pussy tape came out, and she was kind of talking against POTUS. But since the president seems to be okay with McSally, we shall see if she votes for the Make America Great Again policies that these establishment assholes in the Republican Party refuse to do, and same with the Democrats, the obstructionists. But yeah, it was a good day yesterday for the president. I mean, it just goes to show you that the political capital of the president is still alive and well. And if he gives you an endorsement, you're the man. I mean, Ron DeSantis, the guy who just said the monkeying comment, he won his damn nomination by 20 points in the primary. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And now, something to worry about in the Florida primary situation. Now, there were 1.6 million people that voted in the Republican primary in Florida, whereas there was 1.5 million people that voted in the Democratic primary. So those are really close numbers. So DeSantis better not monkey this. He better not monkey this up, all right? Anyway, let's move on, folks. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, the president inks a new trade deal with Mexico. Now Canada wants to talk. I mean, I just don't understand this fucking cuckold connoisseur that's the damn Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. I don't understand this, man. I mean, did you not think that President Trump was serious and that he would go at it alone without Canada, for Christ's sake? Now that we've got a deal inked with Mexico, all of a sudden Canada wants to be a part of it. Now, according to the president, now that Canada is calling up and saying, hey, we want to be a part of the new deal, don't be a hoser, let's go get a new deal, Well, according to the president, they're being a little bit more receptive now. I mean, the art of the deal, baby. That's what I love about this president. This president's a capitalist. The art of the deal is being represented right before your very eyes. Right before your goddamn very eyes. And like I said, I am glad that AMLO, who is a leftist, he's a social leftist, who is now the president of Mexico, understands that if he makes this deal, and it's already been made with the United States, and if AMLO creates a goddamn middle class in Mexico, he will go down in Mexican history. And that's what he wants. I think that he's that kind of a guy. I think that's where his machismo is directed. You know, these fucking Mexicans, they got these fucking machismo. Remember the last president? And we're not going to build the wall, senor, and we're not going to do no big deals. We're not going to do nothing. We're not going to do no Mexican deal. We're not going to do no trade deal with you, senor. Man, we got this leftist elected in Mexico, and he's willing to do a deal. And let me tell you, this is going to hurt China. And Ev and I always talked about this, folks, that Mexico could literally be the new manufacturing hub of the world. And any wages, because I don't think it's much of a wage in Mexico, okay? But it's obviously more than China, right? I mean, whatever the Chinese people are being paid at these Foxconn and all these other factories out there, obviously the Mexicans are going to get paid a little more. But even if they're paid a little more in wages, it will be offset, folks, by the shipping costs that it takes to get goods from China to the United States. I mean, they're right across the border. They're right across the border. Once that shit's manufactured, they take the I-35 corridor and then just start splitting all over the country in distribution. So, in my opinion, what I had prognosticated and what I had suggested the president do, he has done. And now that we've got this deal with Mexico, China better watch its ass, because how in the hell are they going to offset the $600 billion that they usually get from the United States on an annual basis? How are they going to offset that? They're not. They can't. Their goddamn house of cards of an economy is going to come tumbling down unless these Chinese take the fucking chopsticks out of their ass. So anyway, I am glad that the president is showing, I mean, you know, we're showing like we got balls the size of grapefruits. I'm not even kidding. That's what he's showing America on the world stage. He's showing the world that we got balls the size of grapefruits, and we'll slap them upside your fucking chin if you fuck with us. Economically, politically, socially, or with war. We're respected again on the world stage, man. And I'm glad. Thank God Trump is president. Thank God. And like I said, now that we got to deal with Mexico, bilateral deal, all of a sudden Canada wants to come and start talking again. Hey, can we talk again, eh? Come on, eh? Can we talk again, eh? Hoser? Come on, Hoser. Shut up, Canada. You know what? It's going to cost Canada. You know what I mean? It's going to cost Canada. And let's be honest. Another reason why they're trying to negotiate with the United States right now is because they have a little bit of a Saudi Arabian problem. Now, if y'all haven't, heard about this, I've been covering this a lot. The Canadians and Saudi Arabians have had a diplomatic dispute here for the past several weeks because the foreign minister of Canada decided to open up their mouths and criticize the women crackdown, quote unquote, that's happening in Saudi Arabia. Now, I've explained this. You have Mohammed bin Salman, the millennial, and you see millennials taking reign, taking control of all kinds of different countries, and yet here in America, what are they doing? Playing video games and, having half black kids and half deaf kids and shit. But regardless, I'm sorry, I'm digressing. Mohammed bin Salman has been trying to let loose on some of the stringent laws that are against women in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And one of the laws that he let loose on was allowing women to drive. And once he allowed women to drive, unfortunately, folks, you give women a little bit of an inch, they'll take a fucking mile. Once Mohammed bin Salman allowed these women to drive, all of a sudden when UFC came to Saudi Arabia, UFC was interviewing some of the women that wanted to become UFC fighters in Saudi Arabia, and the women were actually scantily clad, very scantily clad for Saudi Arabians' taste, and those women that were on that particular UFC segment that showed a little bit too much cleavage were punished, and as a result, they've had to crack down on women who want to take a mile out of an inch. Now that they can drive, they think that they can do everything now, and that's, the kingdom is cracking down. All right? I mean, you can't blame them. They're like, hey, broads, we just gave you the right to fucking drive. Calm your shit, all right? Calm your ass down. We're still down with Allah over here. Fucking Sharia fucking law, bitches. All right? Go back in the fucking goat kitchen or whatever the hell they're doing. Anyway, listen. The bottom line is this. because the Canadian foreign minister criticized the woman crackdown that's happening in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia went ballistic. Saudi Arabia went so ballistic that they not only expelled everybody who was from Canada in the goddamn country of Saudi Arabia, but they have recalled every Saudi Arabian student going to university in Canada. They have sold off any Canadian stocks, bonds. I mean, it's gotten bad. It is a bad situation, and Justin Trudeau doesn't know what to do. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, there was an article circulating that Justin Trudeau is finding himself all alone in the situation with Saudi Arabia. Of course he's alone, because he's a fictitious cuckold connoisseur. I mean, all Justin Trudeau does is try to find media and virtue signal in any capacity in front of that camera. Even if it looks the most disingenuous, the most insulting type of virtue signaling, he doesn't care. He'll still do it. I mean, he's been rubbing all these kinds of leaders the wrong way. Y'all remember when Justin Trudeau went to visit India? The head of state of India didn't even want to fucking go and meet him at the tarmac as he came down because stupid Justin Trudeau was dressed in Indian garb. And so was his wife, so was his children, dressed up in fucking Indian garb, for Christ's sake. And you don't think that's a fucking insult? I'm serious. I mean, you don't think that's an insult? Anyway, folks, that's why, if you want my opinion, Justin Trudeau is coming to the table, on the negotiating table with the United States when it comes to a trade deal. Because, man, this diplomatic dispute between them and Saudi Arabia has gotten so bad, the Saudi Arabian state-run media posted a picture of a plane headed downward into the skyline of Toronto, giving a little bit of a subtle threat of potential terrorism if Canada continues to virtue signal at Saudi Arabia. And look, we talked about 9/11 and Saudi Arabian's connections and all that shit. I don't want to go down that direction anymore, but everybody gets it. I mean, the assets that the black operation and CIA operations in the United States, all the Jehudis that have been under our direct control ever since the Russian and Afghan war, they are no longer being used against American targets anymore. And that's why I had always said that the President Trump, was so certain that he could eliminate ISIS. Because ISIS is our fucking operation. It is a CIA black operation. I mean, that's why Michael T. Flynn, who got busted by Robert Mueller, that's why he got the book thrown at him. I mean, there's an interview with Michael Flynn right after he retired from the military and as the head of the DIA, which is the Defense Intelligence Agency, which is the equivalent of the CIA for the Pentagon. He did an interview with Al Jazeera, and he admitted that, hey, look, Obama is the one funding, training, and arming Al-Qaeda. You know what I'm saying? Funding, training, and arming Al-Qaeda. And ISIS, and the Salafists, etc. I mean, and he knows because he was the fucking CIA of the Pentagon, the DIA. He was the head of the DIA. So anyway, with that being said, folks, that's why the Canadians are taking the threat by Saudi Arabia a little serious. And that's why Justin Trudeau doesn't know what to do. But what did I tell you? I said what Trudeau's going to have to do, he's going to have to get on his knees. He's going to have to kiss the fucking ring of God Emperor Donald Trump himself. All right? And then President Donald Trump will kind of tell Saudi Arabia, hey, calm down on these Canadian Canucks. All right? Calm down. Everything's all right. I'm not joking. He's going to have to go and call like Mohammed bin Salman and say, look, Mohammed bin Salman, I'm going to tell you right now, it's okay. Don't bomb Justin Trudeau. And by the way, Justin Trudeau, you're fired. Anyway, folks, I'm just laughing at this situation, man. All right. Anyway, we shall see what happens with Canada. Hopefully Canada capitulates majorly. We shall see with the renegotiated trade deal. But, yeah, Canada's going to have to give up a lot if they think that they're going to do business with us again. Especially after backstabbing our president at the G7 summit, fucking Trudeau, you piece of shit. And, by the way, let's keep it with President Trump news. We got a lot of President Trump news. The president calls out the FBI and the Department of Justice about a report that China actually hacked Clinton's private email server. Did y'all hear about this? Now, according to reports, that China actually hacked everything that was on this private email server that was in some kind of a bathroom that Hillary Clinton had outside of the Secretary of State. Now, what did I tell you folks about this whole email server? The whole email server was nothing more than a plausible deniability by Clinton, so that she could purposely put classified information on that server. And she could say that it was hacked and she didn't know and it was supposed to be private. All this fucking stupid, careless, and unsophisticated jargon that James Comey testified to as it relates to the Hillary Clinton email investigation. And it's proven, folks, that, hey, look, and then look, the FBI is trying to kind of roll back what they suggested in a report, because it's their report that suggested that China not only had access to the classified information on Hillary Clinton's emails, they had access to everything in real time. I mean, they must have had like a sophisticated Trojan horse in which they could literally take control of everything and had access to everything she was doing real time, because that was the report. Now, the FBI is trying to rebut the president, because the president tweeted right at the DOJ and FBI today and said, hey, a report out that China hacked Hillary's emails. I mean, what are you going to do about it? And obviously they're not going to do anything about it, because we have an establishment snake at the head of the DOJ, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, who is doing nothing, who's allowing these people like Bruce Orr and Rod Rosenstein and all these despicable, corrupt characters to continue to work for the Department of Justice without not only firing these people, but fucking throw charges on these people for politicizing the highest levels of the institution of the judicial branch. The FBI tried to rebut, saying that, quote, there's no evidence that Clinton's emails were ever compromised. Folks, the FBI's fucking lying. All right? The FBI's fucking lying, because here I gabbed. If y'all didn't see this earlier, I will repost this. Here it is. This right here, folks, is a fucking memo from Peter Strzok himself about the Clinton emails. Take a look at my gab right now to take a look at it. And read that. He even suggests that, hey, look, these have been accessed by foreign entities, including classified information. But if you read what he suggests and alludes to in this fucking little memo, in this email, he's trying to suggest what to say to corroborate with what the public statements by James Comey were. I mean, just this email alone by Peter Strzok is proof that there's a politicized double standard in the FBI. If you are a goddamn Democrat and you commit any kind of crime, there's a different approach at investigating a Democrat than it is investigating somebody who happens to be on the right wing of the political spectrum. I mean, take a look. It's Peter Strzok's email about the Clinton email investigation. It's right there, and it says that foreign actors access classified information on Hillary Clinton's email fucking server. There's a double standard. I mean, here we are. We've got the media. We've got the left. We've got Democrats salivating and wringing their hands because allegedly the president took his own money and paid some skankosauruses to shut their goddamn cocksuckers, and that's supposed to be illegal? You know, I'm serious. Is that supposed to be illegal? I mean, what's more damning to you and what affects you as a American citizen? That Trump paid off a few slutbags who he used as sexual playgrounds so they could shut their mouths, or you've got Hillary Clinton having a private email server that has been accessed by, quote, foreign actors, and this is according to fucking Peter Strzok's own email. Foreign actors access classified information, and yet in the email he's trying to suggest how to say things so that it can corroborate with James Comey and his testimony, for fuck's sake. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've always said this, and I'm going to continue to say it. Are these assholes at the highest level of the Department of Justice and FBI, are they too big to jail? Are we going to see any kind of justice culminate from this? These assholes politicize the highest levels of the judicial branch. And there's what, going to be no recourse? There's not going to be any justice on these individuals? And of course, you got Robert Mueller over here continuing on like an albatross on the neck of the president. And what has he found, folks? What has Robert Mueller found as it pertains to Russia-Trump collusion? Nothing! Nothing! Now they're resorting to whether or not Trump gave his own fucking money to a couple of skanks. That's all they've got. That's all they've got. And folks, let's just say for the sake of argument that, you know, I mean, there was an election law or two bent or broken. Folks, even Alan Dershowitz, who voted for Hillary Clinton, who is a card-carrying Democrat, who is a professor of law at Harvard University, said that election laws are the equivalent of a jaywalking infraction, I should say. A jaywalking infraction. No one goes to jail over a goddamn campaign finance breaking of a law. All right? No one. Remember, they tried to do something to John Edwards. Remember pretty boy John Edwards? I'm so pretty. I'm so pretty. Remember that asshole? He was the vice presidential candidate in 2004 with John Kerry. You know, Herman Munster. You know what I'm talking about, John Kerry. Anyway, they tried to do the same thing to John Edwards, and it was a nothing burger. That whole fucking case went to trial, and it was a hung jury, and they refused to retry it because they can't. And this is all the Democrats, all Robert Mueller, all the Southern District of New York has is what? What you're going to have? You're going to have what? What are you going to have? Michael Cohen say, yeah, I paid off this broad so you can shut her up. How is this a crime, man? How is this a crime? I mean, I'm seriously, how is this a fucking crime? And where did we go from Russia collusion? Remember, we're a long way from Russia collusion, folks. Long way. But yet, where is the media coverage about China allegedly having real-time hacked access to the Clinton email server? And the FBI now lying. They came out and tried to rebut the president's tweet this morning by lying and saying that there was no evidence Clinton emails were compromised. Folks, I just gabbed the fucking Peter Strzok memo that proves they were. They know they were. They were accessed by foreign entities, and they came out today to rebut the president in an outright fucking lie. I mean, this proves why we need to disband the FBI. We need to end the FBI. We need to just break it up, and it's over. It's it. It's over. This institution has lost the confidence of the American people at this point in time, and it is such a corrupt entity that it needs to be broken up. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it at this point. I mean, the FBI came out today and tried to rebuke the president Because the president tweeted out today, hey, DOJ, FBI, what are you going to do about the Chinese hacking of the emails, the Clinton emails? And the FBI came out and lied. I mean, we need to outlaw the FBI. I'm telling you, the FBI has always been corrupt. It's been corrupt since it first began with J. Edgar Hoover, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they made the FBI to try to take down Al Capone. And you know what? They couldn't get shit on Al Capone except for tax evasion. And believe it or not, that tax evasion little case that happened to Al Capone set precedent on you going to prison if you don't pay your taxes, believe it or not. But that's all they could get Al Capone on. They couldn't get him on murder. They couldn't get him on bootlegging. They couldn't get him on any illegal activity, so all they could do is, tax evasion. And J. Edgar Hoover started the FBI, and, let's be honest, folks, J. Edgar Hoover was a corrupt piece of shit. All right? Now, luckily, he was pro-American, and that he spied on all the communists that were all over America. And that's why we know the deep secrets of all these goddamn communists, because the FBI, under the tutelage of fucking J. Edgar Hoover, recorded and eavesdropped on all these sons of bitches. I mean, J. Edgar Hoover used and abused his ability to be able to fucking eavesdrop, to wiretap, to bug, etc. So I don't understand why people keep saying that the FBI is some kind of sacred cow of investigations or wings of the Department of Justice. I mean, it is a corrupt organization, folks. Even mobsters are saying that it's a corrupt organization at this point in time. So give me a damn break. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that subject matter. I don't want to talk about it, but once again, folks, I mean, this just goes to show you that, I don't know, the FBI has gone rogue. And we have to do something. We got to start demanding that the FBI be disbanded. This is just too much power for a goddamn corrupt criminal entity to have. Too much fucking power. I mean, these people can ruin your life. I mean, look at what they just did to Paul Manafort. Had Paul Manafort never been a part of the Trump campaign, he would have never have gotten into this trouble. I mean, this is just disgusting what these fucking people can do to your lives. It's fucking sick, and I can't believe that this is America. And we allow these people to have this kind of authority. And as I stated, are these people too big to fucking jail? Are they too big to jail? Jesus Christ, man. Let's move on, all right? One more subject matter about the president, and it's very important, folks, all right? Now, the president, the advisor to the president, we talked about him earlier, Larry Kudlow, suggested on Tuesday that Trump is considering new regulations on big tech. That's right, folks. Trump is considering regulations specifically on the Google search engine because of a lot of factors, folks. And it's about time, if you want my opinion, that some entity started calling out the monopoly that is not only searching, but, I mean, Google, they're the ones that deliver you the news if you happen to have a Chrome book or if you happen to have a Chrome browser, if you use Google services. I mean, these people are trying to frame narratives that go way beyond the influence of the mainstream media. I mean, let's be honest, the mainstream media is not that influential. I read the other day that Anderson Cooper's program on CNN got beat out by ancient aliens. The guy with the freaked out hair is like, aliens. He got beat out by ancient aliens, for Christ's sake. So that just goes to show you, but when you have billions of people in your community at your control, at your whim, I mean, that's a lot of power to have, and I'm glad that the president is finally calling out these sons of bitches, because these people have gone beyond a social media company. They've gone beyond a search company. They are now delivering news and information to people on a billions of people scale. And what gives these idiots, unfortunately, the right to have this type of control? Nobody. And that's why I'm glad Trump is calling these fuckers out. And aside from calling out Google search, he's also calling out Facebook and Twitter for their banning and censorship, okay? Now, I want to be honest with you folks, okay? A lot of this problem of banning and censorship and, you know, Google having this monopolization of the search engine and how they are listening to you on your Android phone. If you say that you have a back problem, before you know it, you've got ads popping up in front of you for back problems, etc. But in my view, folks, it comes down to the individual users. You notice that most users on the internet, they don't like to try anything else. Once they become Facebook people, they don't want to be anything else. Once they become Twitter people or Instagram people, they don't leave anywhere else. I mean, the internet community is a very fickle community, and they don't like to try too many things anymore. And it just underscores the lack of originality that we are as a civilization when we, as a civilization, knowingly give this type of power to entities like Google, like Facebook, like Twitter. Hey, look, man, people have tried to make alternatives. No one wants to go because I don't like it. You know, my family's on Facebook, and I like Facebook and Farmville, and I like it. I don't like. I like to stay on Twitter because it's like a little microblog, and millions of people, and people like my little microblogs and my little tweets. I mean, I try to tell people all the time, man, get on Gab, okay? Get on Gab. Gab, I've been on Gab since the beginning. And you know, folks, Gab has barely got over 500,000 views, or excuse me, 500,000 users on its goddamn platform, and this is after almost 3 years. After almost 3 years, Gab barely has almost, or a little over 500,000 in users. Now, that goes to show you how fucking idiotic and lazy the internet community is, and how they are voluntarily giving this kind of major power to Google, to Facebook, to Twitter. And, you know, even though you've got Facebook, Twitter, and Google saying, hey, we're taking your information, we're selling it, we're data mining your ass, you know, we're selling everything about you, we own your pictures. You know that they own your pictures on Facebook. You post your pictures on Facebook, they own them. I hope you know that. All right, they own your thoughts, they own your little likes, they own all that shit. And yet you people still don't care, and you still refuse to move away from these fucking oligarchs. I mean, don't you think that that's a testament to how stupid people really are today? I mean, everybody out here is bitching right now about, oh, you know, Google search is biased, and oh, they're banning us in Facebook, and oh, they're banning us in Twitter, and how about the fact that, how come some of these people, I mean, there's like, what, 2 billion, 3 billion people on fucking Facebook, there's like 1 billion people on Twitter, you know, I mean, how come at least not 3 or 4 million of those people finally get fed up and say, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else. I don't need to be spending my time, effort, and energy on this social media. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to go to another social media that appreciates me as a user, that isn't going to own my photographs and my thoughts and my posts and my blogs and my likes. They're not doing it, folks. And that's why I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I don't really care about what's happening as far as censorship on Google, on Facebook, on Twitter. I don't really care, because I want to be honest with you, folks. I had been banned years ago. Okay? This shit happened to me years ago, and you know what? Everybody thought it was so fucking funny and cute. Oh, you know what? We're gonna get ghosted. We're gonna get him banned off Gumroad. Yeah, we're gonna get him banned off Twitter, and yeah, we're gonna say that he's doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. I was banned from fucking Twitter and Gumroad and you name it. I've been banned from all these services years ago, and did anybody give a fucking rat's ass? No! No! So, I don't give a flying fuck that Alex Jones is getting banned from these social media outlets. I don't give a flying fuck if Mr. Metalcore is getting banned from Twitter and Facebook. I don't care. All right? I don't give a shit. Where the fuck was the outcry when Ghost got banned, huh? When Ghost was getting banned by a fucking bunch of pause-hole faggot trolls, and they're like, yeah, we got him banned, so yeah. And I said when I got banned, you fucking assholes, that what's happening to me is just the beginning of true internet censorship. But did anybody listen? Did anybody give a flying fuck? No. No. And what, I'm supposed to care that these people are getting banned off Twitter and Facebook? Hey, I've been banned off Twitter and Facebook for years already, you fucking idiots. All right, I don't give a crap. And you notice, once they eliminate you off of these big-time social media networks, you're nothing. You're nothing. I mean, that's all they need to do. You're not going to make the big money that you were used to, and that's what they're trying to do with these people. They're trying to test the political will of individuals by demonetizing them, by banning them, etc. And you see, they tested my political will a long time ago, folks. You know that? And you know what? I'm still fucking here. I'm still standing. I'm still fucking standing here. I'm politically motivated, for Christ's sake, man. I'm not out here doing all this right-wing celebrity bullshit so I can get, what, money? Let me tell you something, man. If we're not politically serious, you ain't that money that you're getting on your goddamn Patreons, on your Streamlabs and all that shit ain't gonna be worth dick. It ain't gonna be worth nothing if we are not politically motivated. And I guarantee you that none of these fucking right-wing celebs are politically serious for shit. Where the fuck were these people? Where the fuck was Mr. Metalcore and all these other faggots out here, fucking Ralph Retort and all these other faggots out here, when we and myself and the capitalist army were out here fucking doxing the delegates in the GOP in 2016 so that fucking Trump could get the nomination? Where the fuck were these guys when the fucking capitalist army doxed the fucking leader of the Black Panther Party to prevent the Black Panther Party showing up in Cleveland, Ohio in 2016 during the GOP convention fully armed? Where the fuck were you? Where the fuck were you idiots when I fucking released the DC Madam's phone list? Where the fuck were you? Where the fuck were all you e-celebs at? Y'all don't do shit. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't respect any fucking right-wing celeb because they're all a bunch of talk. They haven't put their freedom on the line. They haven't done anything for the cause to advance the fucking development of right-wing capitalist politics. They've done nothing! Where the fuck were you all at? So, excuse the fuck out of me if I don't give a shit if any of these dumb fucking idiot right-wing celebs are all being fucking censored. Tough fucking titty, alright? Tough titty! Nobody gave a shit about old Ghost over here, so fuck you! And half you idiots, Alex Jones, Metalcore, all of you morons fucking rip me off all the time, you fucking pieces of shit. And you people can't even give a common courtesy to say, you know what, we want to thank Ghost out there. He's out there doing that. Fuck you! Fuck all of you fucking right-wing celeb cocksuckers! Fuck you! You don't do shit! You're fucking phonies! You're fakes! All of you! Where the fuck were you to put in some fucking work for the cause? Where the fuck were you? So, fuck all you right-wing e-celebs out there who haven't done a fucking thing. The only person I do have props to say Tommy fucking Robinson from the UK, all right? That's the only son of a bitch that I respect, because this guy, he's living, he's breathing, he's putting himself on the line for his cause, baby. Where the fuck are the rest of you? Fucking makes me sick. So, I don't really give a shit who gets banned anymore. And you know what? People can say, well, Ghost, they can ban you too. They already banned me! They already banned me, you fuckers! They already banned me! You think I give a shit if they shut this down? I'm not even making money off this shit! I'm not even making money off this fucking show! But meanwhile, you got Mr. Metalcore over here fucking making $5,000 a month on fucking Patreon. You fucking fuck! It's fucking pathetic! Entertainment for tards. That's all anybody has to fucking be anymore. Entertainment for tards. I'm fucking tired of this shit! Tired of it, man! So fuck all you E-right-wing celebs. You all fucking suck. You all aren't doing shit. And you all fucking ain't never gonna be shit. If it came down to you sucking dick on a goddamn camera for you to continue to get your fucking money, you fucking sick fucking media whores would fucking do it! Anyway, look, I'm sorry, folks. We're fucking like, Jesus, 4 minutes in to the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I'm your host, the man they call Ghost, yada, yada, yada. I'm serious, man, all right? I'm serious. There's something very fucking wrong when you got a fucking stupid, dumb fucking idiot Mr. Metalcore coming out here. Hi, this is Mr. Metalcore, and hey, let me go ahead and rip off Poshole from Ghost, and hey, look, here's a Poshole, and hey, look at that. When fucking dumb, stupid, fucking monotone, no fucking personality having jerk-offs like this can fucking raise $10,000 a month, and here old Ghost is over here fucking prognosticating shit, throwing fucking financial shit out for everybody to be for fucking free out here, and I can barely fucking sell a fucking autograph, for fuck's sake! What the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with this picture, man? What the fuck is wrong with this fucking picture? Anyway, look, I don't give a shit, man. I mean, I'm doing this because I'm political, and I hope that those of you that are politically serious understand that we don't have time to be fucking trolling around. We don't have time to be sitting out here acting like autists. We don't have time to be sitting around fetishizing fucking cartoons and playing video games, for Christ's sake. Fucking millennials, man. You make me sick! Anyway, look, I was talking about how the president is, considering regulations on Google search and potentially going after Facebook and Twitter, but what? I mean, I understand Google search because they go far beyond a social media. But what the fuck? What the fuck was Facebook and Twitter? How is it Facebook and Twitter's fault that the fucking whole world are a bunch of idiots and they're using their fucking services, and for whatever reason, the morons of the world refuse to use anybody else? How is it their fault? How is it Facebook's fault? How is it Twitter's fault that, people are idiots and, once they get used to something, they don't want to go away from it? How is it their fault? I can understand Google because Google's got everything integrated to their fucking search and their you got fucking Android phones that can hear you, for Christ's sake, and Google searches that are searching based upon what the fuck you're talking about. All that shit, I get it. But why is it goddamn Facebook and Twitter's problem? All right? I mean, yeah, okay, they're censoring everybody. Yeah, they're censoring everybody against the right. How come people aren't moving over and going somewhere else? Because they're idiots. All right? They're fucking idiots. Now, luckily, we've got people that are working at Facebook that are out here saying, hey, look, we've had enough of the, quote, intolerable liberalism that is the modus operandi of Facebook. Did y'all hear this? Oh, more than 100 employees from Facebook have formed a group against the company's intolerable liberalism. So, I mean, at least the people that are working there are saying, look, this is over. This is it. You know, I mean, I'm not going to continue working at this place without letting my grievances be known. Letting my grievances be known out here. So it just goes to show you that, hey, yeah, there is a liberal bias, all right? There is a liberal bias at Facebook. There is a liberal bias at Twitter. No one gives a shit, okay? People are not leaving. There's still over 1 billion people on Twitter. There's still over 2 billion people on Facebook, all right? I mean, people are idiots. And let me tell you, if you still have a Facebook or a Twitter, fuck you, okay? Seriously, fuck you. And don't give me this shit, well, I've got family and my family's this and that. You know, well, then fuck your family. Your family are a bunch of idiots, okay? I mean, Jesus Christ, man. You fucking people are making these oligarchs the billions that they have, and you people are bitching because they're acting like a private company. I don't blame. Look, I hate Facebook. I hate Mark Zuckerberg. I'd kick him in the balls if I seen him. I hate that poshole Jack Dorsey. If I ever saw him, I would bitch slap Jack Dorsey. I'm not even kidding. I mean, I'm sure we'll never cross paths, but if he ever comes down here to Texas, I'll bitch slap him in the face for being a fucking... I'd do it with a rubber glove on it because he's a fucking poshole, and I don't want any goddamn diseases that once I bloody his fucked up nose. Anyway, let me move on, man. I'm just give me my cola. Let me move on. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just... You know, I have to admit, I'm a little jaded that I have fucking Mr. Meadowcore over here having idiots give him $5,000 a month, okay, on a Patreon when this fucking guy, if you want my opinion, rips me off on a fucking every video basis. Fucking Meadowcore, you faggot. Anyway, let me move on, folks, all right? I mean, I've got a whole shitload to talk about here, and, you know, I kind of went off keister, so we're going to continue on, folks, all right? Anyway, did y'all hear what's happening in California? California is becoming the first state in the United States to eliminate money bail. Did you hear about this? Now, if you commit crime in California, and it's not a serious, quote, offense, you no longer have to... You have to post bail for yourself. Yeah. No more bail for, quote, non-serious offenders. They're typically going to be out within 12 hours. Now, I know that all of you fucking habitual criminals and thieves and all you drug addicts and all you people out there are heel kicking right now that there's no longer any money bail in California. Why don't you hold your heel kicking for just a second? Now, if there is no bail, then who makes the judgment call on who gets let out of jail and who isn't? Well, none other than California judges, folks. California judges will be solely in charge of setting inmates free, folks. Can you believe that? And we all know how judges like to legislate from the bench. We all know that judges have their own political bias and they legislate from the bench. What if you happen to be a right-wing person who was protesting in California and got busted for it? And because this new law is going to allow California judges to be the sole entity to be in charge of setting inmates free, what if he decides, and the judge can decide this, folks, they can decide to keep you. A judge can decide to keep whatever inmate for whatever reason based on if the judge deems that they are, quote, a threat to public safety. So let me run that by you one more again. For all you fuckers that like to go to California and protest, let's say you get arrested in that protest and you're protesting for right-wing causes. let's say you get something that is very, very, lighter than a misdemeanor. Something that, like, you're parading without a permit, or unlawful assembly, or something to that effect, where they're going to throw you in a jail cell and kind of throw you through the whole system, etc. The judge has the sole decision on whether or not he's going to let you out or keep you in there. Now, do you think that these liberal judges in California would let somebody who has done a minor offense, typically some kind of protest or something to that effect, do you think that this liberal judge is going to let you out of jail? This is the new California. So if the judge deems you, quote, not a threat to public safety, whatever that means, because that's his sole discretion, he has the sole ability to have you either go free or not. So this is the new policy that's going to be implemented in California, folks. The first state in America to eliminate money bail for minor offenses. And the judge, California judges, will be solely in charge of setting inmates free. And, of course, based on if the judge deems the inmate a threat to public safety, he doesn't have to let them out. He could keep them in jail indefinitely. Keep them in jail indefinitely. So, I don't know what the hell California is doing. Remember, they've already made it legal to pause people's neg holes over there. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. It's not illegal for somebody who's HIV positive to knowingly infect you with HIV anymore. It's not illegal in California, believe it or not. So, I don't know where California's going, but I mean, I don't know what's going on with California. I just wish that the big earthquake would come. We're supposedly having a lot of activity around the Ring of Fire. So hopefully that means that California here shortly, most of it, at least the bad parts of it, will be fucking floating in the ocean soon. Because I don't know what the hell's going to happen in California. I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, let me move on, folks. Let's talk a little bit more. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this. Y'all remember we were talking about this New Mexico compound that was found in the middle of the desert, in which they found kids that were malnourished and these Muslim adults that were training these kids for terrorist acts, for instance, to shoot schools, to shoot hospitals, etc. They had found all this information there at this compound. And we reported, I think, a week ago that the judge in the case actually posted $20,000 bond for this type of an ailment, or this type of a crime. I mean, lest we forget, there was a dead kid's corpse in this compound, okay? There was a dead kid in this compound. Aside from the fact that these kids were living in squalor, they were starving, etc., the district judge, Emilio Chavez, today dismissed charges against 3 of the 5 defendants that were a part of this compound, in which it was an obvious compound, folks, training children to shoot schools, to shoot hospitals, etc. And what did I tell you when I covered this the last time, when the judge, the New Mexico judge, gave these inmates, or these perps, $20,000 bond, considering they found this compound that is in squalor, children that were starving, 1 child's corpse, and found evidence that these people were training these children to shoot up hospitals and schools. $20,000 bail, folks. Now, the reason this is happening, and I said this the last time, this is a CIA operation. This is a CIA operation, folks. And the more that these people are just going free and $20,000 bond, and who cares about the dead corpse of the child in this compound, you all are starting to realize that this was a CIA operation. And lest we forget, the guy who was a part of this Siraj bin Wahaj. Okay? His father was implicated as one of the suspects, a potential suspect, in the first 1993 World Trade Center bomb. His father is a big sheikh out in New York. Now, I'm telling you folks, this is a CIA operation. I can't tell you what exactly it was supposed to be. I don't know if these people were being trained to operate this type of violence on the United States. I don't know if these people were being trained to operate this type of violence abroad, but this is definitely a CIA operation. I mean, they dismissed the charges of 3 of the 5. And folks, one of the women that was caught at this New Mexico compound, there's a picture of her at CNN. Have y'all seen this? There's a picture of her on CNN with a microphone in her hand visiting CNN. How come all these people visit CNN? Remember the Parkland shooter kids? Remember the Parkland shooting kids? They were all at CNN. Y'all remember that? What have I always told you about CNN? CNN is the CIA news network, folks. I mean, take a look at all those CIA operatives that are on that fucking talking head screen. And that's what they are. They're just not just in CNN. They're everywhere, all over the damn mainstream media. I mean, Buck Sexton, a fucking ex-CIA agent and a talking head in the media. Anderson Cooper was recruited by the CIA in college. He's not even, his last name's not even Cooper. He's a fucking Vanderbilt. Did you know that Marie Harf was a CIA operative? Lest we forget, folks, Marie Harf, this fucking hipster-looking blonde piece of trash that is now a media talking head at Fox, lest we forget that she was the Undersecretary of State under Hillary Rotten Clinton. Marie Harf. Look her up, okay? She was the Undersecretary of State of Hillary Clinton. She was a CIA operative. So I'm just saying, folks, I've had enough of people that belong to the CIA integrating themselves into media, integrating themselves in our government. And by the way, why don't you take a look at how many CIA operatives are running for the Democrats this year? And not to mention, there's a few on the Republican side. Take a look at Will Hurd. Not to mention, take a look at Will Hurd, which is a district, Congress district out here in San Antonio. Not only take a look at Will Hurd, but take a look at who is running against Will Hurd. They're both ex-CIA operatives. Now, this should be illegal, folks. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're a part of the CIA, you shouldn't be able to run for anything. All right? You shouldn't be able to run for anything, for fuck's sake. But yeah, back to the New Mexico compound that was a terrorist Islamic breeding ground for these children that were malnourished, and there was a child's corpse in there. Yeah, 3 are just set free. 3 of the 5 of the adults are set free. No child abuse charges. Who cares what happened to the kid that was found dead there? Who cares that the kids were, forced to train for shooting schools and hospitals and they were malnourished? Who cares? I mean, that should prove to you that this is CIA all the way, man. CIA all the way. Anyway, let me move on, folks. We got a lot of fucking shit still to cover, and we don't have too much time. What did I tell you guys about the Pope last show? That the Pope has been implicated by Carlo Maria Vigano. Now, Carlo Maria Vigano is a very, very big figure within the Catholic Church. He's well respected amongst everyone in the Catholic Church. He was, I believe, the ambassador of the Vatican to the United States, if I'm not mistaken, Carlo Maria Vigano. Now, as I told you all last Monday, Carlo Maria Vigano implicated a cover-up by none other than Pope Francis in covering up ex-Cardinal Theodore McCarrick's child sex abuse for years and years. Now, I said that this should be the end of the Catholic Church. I mean, I made references last show that, you know, we have raided religious compounds based on mere speculation, based on an allegation, I should say. I mean, we raided Waco, the Branch Davidians, the Seventh-day Adventist Branch Davidians in Waco. We raided that compound on an allegation of sexual abuse that ended up becoming unfounded and not true in a 1996 congressional investigation. Moreover, we were willing to go send in the government into the compound of Warren Jeffs, and of course he was obviously having sex with 15, 16-year-olds and whatnot, but they had no problem going in there en masse. I'm talking the feds going in there, and y'all remember that scene? I remember it very vividly. They had confiscated and caused a perimeter around the compound of Warren Jeffs, and then they brought in buses to bring in the ladies and the children that were in these frontier dresses. Do you remember that? They were in these like old school 1800s frontier dresses. Now, how come the United States government and the feds can go right in to any of those situations on allegations, and here we have fucking 500 years of fucking pedophilia in the whore of Babylon that's called the Catholic Church, and no one does shit. No one does a goddamn thing. Now, I said that, you know, the Vatican should be taken down, even if it takes a multilateral group of nation states to do it. I mean, how much longer are we going to stay silent to this pedophilia? How much longer? Anyway, I said that if, and obviously nothing's going to happen to the Catholic Church, but at the very least there needs to be a call for the step down of Pope Francis, and that's exactly what's happening. You're having a massive call within the Catholic Church for Pope Francis to step down as the Pope. But you know what Pope Francis said here recently? I have no intention of stepping down. And by the way, don't ask me about child molestation again, because I already released a statement, and the statement, it speaks for itself. So don't ask me about child molestation again. That's what the Pope Francis said. That's what he said. He's a sick leader of a pedophile cult. That's what the Catholic Church is, man. I mean, doesn't everybody remember why Martin Luther, literally spoke against the Catholic Church? He went against the Catholic Church. Why did Martin Luther go against the Catholic Church? Well, if you read what Martin Luther wrote, he was fucking sick. He was sick of the fucking rampant pedophilia that was happening in the Catholic Church, and that was almost 500 years ago. Read it, look it up. Martin Luther, all right, he said that he couldn't take the fucking pedophilia in the Catholic Church, so that's why he went against the Catholic Church. That's why he went against the Catholic Church, for Christ's sake. Look it up! 500 years of goddamn child pedophilia in the Catholic Church. 500 fucking years! How much longer are we going to accept it? How much longer is the world going to stay silent? Jesus Christ, man! How much longer? I have no intention of stepping down, and I'm not going to talk about the child abuse again. You read my statement. It speaks for itself. I am the Pope. I am the Pope, and no one can take down the Pope. Fuck you, Pope Francis, you fucking satanic, pedophile, sick fucking pervert! Good God. And look, I'm going to be honest with you, folks. There is no method within the hierarchy of the Catholic Church to remove the Pope. Remember, Pope Benedict resigned. That's why he left. He had dignity enough to resign. This asshole, Pope Francis, has already stated that he's not going to resign. So there's no way to impeach a pope unless they do what they did to John Paul I. You remember that? They killed him. Or what was it? No, that wasn't John Paul I. That one fucking pope they killed in the 60s. Remember, he was like a pope for a couple of days, and they're like, we don't want him. Let's kill him. Yeah, well, that's the only way Pope Francis is going to be taken down, is if the Vatican internally removes him in that capacity. And we shall see if that happens. But, you know, as of right now, Pope Francis is not stepping down. So he's basically telling everyone in the Catholic Church and everybody who's a critic of the Catholic Church to suck it. He's literally telling you all to suck it. He's not going to talk about anything else anymore. So that's all there is to it. You're just going to have to accept the fact that he is the leader of a pedophile cult, and there's nothing that anyone can say about it, all right? All right, now let's continue on here, all right? Now, I want to talk a little bit about Iran here. There's news out of Iran, and once again, in the last broadcast, I talked about how the Ayatollah seems to be throwing his own government under the bus. Last show, I talked about how the Ayatollah was pointing the finger at his government for the nation's financial woes. And it seemed to me, as far as I'm concerned, that he was trying to distance himself from the government and trying to preserve his supreme leader status. And I said, this is a very interesting signal that's happening here. I don't know if y'all remember me saying that. Well, the distancing between the Ayatollah supreme leader and the government continues, folks, all right? Now, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei says that the Iranian government should give up hope on Europe saving the nuclear deal. I'm not even joking. He said, look, forget about it. Enough of this nuclear deal. Let's stop waiting for Europe to come along and save the nuclear deal. Fuck it. We've already given up hope about it. That's enough. Meanwhile, the president of the government of Iran, President Hassan Rouhani, is urging the Europeans to work faster to bring America back to the table so that they can preserve this Iranian nuke deal. So I don't know what's going on here, if there is a rift, and obviously it is. I mean, these are two different messages coming out here. You've got the Ayatollah in two different instances contradicting his own government. And like I said, folks, the government itself is its own entity, and the supreme leader, that's why they call him the supreme leader. He's supposed to have the last say-so in everything in the country, because lest we forget, it's supposed to be an Islamic-ran country. That's why the clerics, or the Ayatollah, is the supreme leader. But these rifts that we're seeing here recently is very interesting. I mean, it says to me that one of two things is happening. Either the government, the President Hassan Rouhani government, is willing to capitulate to certain demands that the United States wants, so long as the deal, the Iranian nuke deal, is back on the table. Now, lest we forget that President Trump says that he has no preconditions to meet with the Iranians, and that he's more than willing to sit down and meet with the Iranians one-on-one. And I've always suggested, folks, that the Iranians must have something over the European Union and the Obama administration, because for whatever reason, the European Union is still trying to salvage and save this goddamn Iranian nuke deal. And moreover, lest we forget that we had a lot of pro-Iranian stances in the Obama administration. I mean, lest we forget that Valerie Jarrett, the top advisor for Barack Obama, was born in Iran. Lest we forget that Barack Obama told a law enforcement agency that had under surveillance the Hezbollah network in the United States and was about to take the Hezbollah network down, and was told to stand down by Obama. We covered that months ago. I mean, what does Iran know about the European Union and Obama that is forcing Obama and the European Union to bow to Iran. I mean, lest we forget, folks, that this fucking Iranian nuke deal, in my opinion, and I've always suggested it, was a payoff. A payoff to what? I'd like to know, and I'm sure the president would like to know. And that's why President Trump is not holding any preconditions to meeting with the Iranian leadership. Now, who is the fucking Trump administration going to negotiate with? That is the question. Because, I mean, who's the legitimate leader now? If we're having a rift in the system of the Iranian government, when the supreme leader who's supposed to have the ultimate say-so with everything is contradicting his own government, what's happening here? Who do we negotiate with? You know what I'm saying? So very, very interesting turn of events that are happening in Iran. Moreover, it also shows that if Iran doesn't get its act together, and if Iran keeps making threats like the one they made Monday, that they are in control of the Gulf and they could potentially stop exports and imports of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, etc. If they continue threats like that, their whole country is going to be invaded by somebody. Now, it could be the United States, it could be Israel, it could be the Saudis, it could be all three of us. But I'll tell you right now, Iran is waiting to be taken out. They can barely prop up their own government in their own domestic situation. They're stronger outside of their country, believe it or not. I mean, I'm not kidding. Iran is actually stronger in Yemen. It's stronger in Syria. It's stronger in Lebanon. Because that's what these idiots spend their money on. They spend their money on their terrorist satellites all over the Middle East. And that's why, in my opinion, they've got something. I believe they've got something on the European Union and the Obama administration. And I am warning the Iranians, if you want the continuity of your government to sustain itself, I would strongly advise you to tell Donald Trump what it is that you have on the European Union and the Obama administration. Because it's something. Why else would the Obama administration pay the Iranians $260 billion, $1.5 billion in cash? And like President Trump said, $1.5 billion in cash. Have you ever seen that much cash before? And just imagine, they flew these damn planes in holding all this cash. $1.5 billion in cold, hard fiat cash. I mean, that sounds like a drug deal. That sounds like a payoff. I want to know what the Iranians know. And I'm telling you, the president knows too. Why do you think the European Union is so desperate to continue this goddamn Iranian nuke deal? I'm telling you, if you want my opinion, Iran probably knows and has direct evidence that this whole goddamn Middle Eastern agenda that has been happening ever since post 9/11/2001 was to actually purposely destabilize the Middle East, to utilize the refugee situation so that it can consolidate power in a collective capacity. I mean, that's what's happening in the European Union right now. That's what's happening in the UK right now. I mean, the refugee situation has completely ethnically, I wouldn't say ethnically cleansed, but ethnically blended the Europeans and all the nation states that create the European Union and these Yehudis that they brought in from the Middle East and in North Africa. And if you don't believe me, folks, Google up or YouTube up right now, Paris today. Today in Paris. Paris 2018, and take a look at Paris, folks. You see people that are intense on the sidewalk, shit and piss on the sidewalk of what? Refugees from North Africa and in Syria. And why did they do this, folks? Because, folks, it kills like 80 birds with one stone for the European Union. Okay? First of all, you bring in these millions of Yehudis and North Africans, and then they do so much fucking. That's why they don't care about the rapes, folks. That's why Germany doesn't care about the Yehudi rapes in Germany. That's why Sweden doesn't care about the Yehudi rapes in Sweden. That's why they don't care about this shit. The more rapes, the better. because they want to eliminate the cultures that comprise the nation states that are the European Union. They want to eliminate those cultures. And what better way to do that than to merge the Yehudis and the North Africans in with the pure white European races so they can create a new Europe. I mean, this is what communists think. This is what communists think. And I'm telling you, folks, I mean, unless Europe, and I think they're starting to wake up to this finally, unless Europe wakes up, you're going to have a very precarious situation happening throughout Europe. Because aside from ethnically cleansing the situation in Europe by bringing in the Yehudis, the government of the EU also brings in a terrorist problem. And because you see all this terrorism throughout Europe, it justifies totalitarian rule. It justifies a surveillance state. It justifies a police state. I mean, they're killing like 80 birds with one stone with this refugee situation. And if you want my opinion, I think Iran has some kind of direct evidence that could show the world, that could implicate, I believe this. I mean, there is no other reason why the Obama administration and the EU gave these assholes $260 billion. There's no other fucking reason. And by the way, they weren't going to end their nuclear ambitions forever. This was a limited time. I mean, this Iranian nuke deal that was dealt by Obama just limits them for, I don't know, 10 years or some shit. They still get to be able to build nuclear weapons later on anyway. It's a stupid fucking deal. Just like the president said, it's the worst deal in the history of deals. And I want to know what Iran knows, man. I want to know what the fuck they know. Because I have a feeling that they have evidence that shows that the European Union, the Obama administration, even going back to the Bush administration, they knew that what they were doing in the Middle East, the policies they were implementing, was going to cause a refugee crisis, and they were going to use that refugee crisis to their advantage. So I'm warning Iran again, if you have that evidence, produce it now. Produce it now, damn it. Anyway, let's move on, folks. And not to mention, who is the president going to negotiate with? Is it with the Ayatollah? Or is it with President Hassan Rouhani and the government? That's another thing that, you know, who the fuck are we going to talk to? It seems as if the Ayatollah and the government are not on the same page, for Christ's sake. Anyway, let's move on, folks. Did y'all hear that here, I think this week, Russia is going to be conducting the biggest war game in almost 40 years. Now, of course, you know, they're doing this to try to flex their nuts, to show everybody that, oh, look, us Russians, we're badass, etc. Actually, it's not this month, it's next month, which is in September, which is in a couple of weeks. From September 11th to September 15th, how convenient these Ruskies are having this massive war game on September 11th. They're going to involve 300,000 troops, 1,000 aircraft, 900 tanks, and guess what? China is going to get in on this war game too. Units from China and Mongolia are also going to participate. The drills will be on an unprecedented scale, both in terms of the area covered and the terms of numbers, too. It will include all their military airborne units and both Northern and Pacific naval fleets. So just imagine about 36,000 pieces of military equipment moving together at the same time. Tanks, armored personnel carriers, infantry fighting vehicles. All of this, of course, in conditions as close to combat as possible. So they're really going to go all out with this damn Russian war game. And lest we forget, we also have China. China coming in on this. Good God. Biggest war game in 40 years. I mean, unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. Now, are we supposed to be scared or something? I mean, obviously this is saber-rattling by the Russians. And I've always said, folks, the Russians, just like the Chinese, in my opinion, are paper tigers. Russia, let's be honest, Vladimir Putin would be impotent right now if it wasn't for, at this point, the foreign media. The foreign media is really putting Vladimir Putin on this pedestal of him being this super leader, and he's leading these super Russian hackers, and they're out here affecting elections, and you know what this does? This bolsters his strongman status amongst his domestic population. And believe it or not, folks, most of the population of Russia doesn't even want Vladimir Putin as their leader, for Christ's sake. I mean, the only people that are out there still supporting Vladimir Putin are the older generations. The younger generations right now, folks, they hate Vladimir Putin. They want him removed from power. They've had enough of this guy. All right? I mean, Vladimir Putin has done so much jailing and so much killing in his own goddamn domestic front that I'm surprised no one has taken a pop shot at him at this point. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, here recently, Putin, even though the older generation is what gives Putin his power, because remember, the older generation are the ones that are still out there, they're working, they're voting, they're also, a big part of his contingent of supporters, all right? Lest we forget that here recently, Putin tried to suggest that they should up the age to get pension. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I mean, this is taking a piss. I'm talking domestic politics-wise. Vladimir Putin is taking a literal piss on his own people that still support him. I mean, these are the older generations that are expecting this pension. I mean, what is Vladimir Putin thinking? Well, anyway, after an outcry by his own supporters, like I always said, the older people in Russia are the ones that give this man power. The younger people do not want anything to do with Vladimir Putin. Do a Google search. Vladimir Putin's approval rating is at an all-time low. Is at an all-time low because the damn Russian youth want him the fuck out. They want him out. Anyway, as Putin decided and suggested publicly that he wanted to raise the age to get a pension, there was major public outcry by his supporters. And guess what? Mr. Strongman Putin, that everybody on the right, the alt-right, I should say, everybody on the alt-right and the white nationalist side kissed the ass of, Vladimir Putin, Mr. Strongman, had to capitulate. And now he's backing off of raising the age of collecting a pension. And why is that, folks? It doesn't matter how much of a strong man you are. It doesn't matter how much of a totalitarian you are. If you lose the will of your entire population, you are nothing. And it'll be like that to overthrow your ass. And why is Vladimir Putin upping the age to pension anyway? Well, because he's playing this communist game. Remember, he kicked out all the business interest out of the U.S. or the Russia. He kicked out all the businesses, American businesses, out of Russia. There's no more American investment in Russia. And right now, he's doing his own thing based upon selling oil. Because lest we forget, folks, one of the biggest suppliers of oil in the world is Russia. And that's basically what he's feeding his fucking people on. And I'm sure those numbers aren't computing very well. So that's why you got Vladimir Putin suggesting to the older people, who are his last domestic supporters as far as I'm concerned, that's why he's suggesting to them that he's going to raise their pension. Because he can't afford it anymore, man. And I'm telling you, that's why, Vladimir Putin can have this big-ass war game all he wants. All right, 300,000 troops, 900 tanks, 1,000 aircraft. I mean, you can have that big old war game all you want to, man. Your own population doesn't even want you around, Pootie-poo. All right? And like I said, folks, I mean, if it wasn't for the foreign media putting fucking Russia and Vladimir Putin on a constant habitual pedestal, I personally believe Vladimir Putin would have been removed a long time ago. While his whole country is literally starving to death, Vladimir Putin, believe it or not, is worth $150 billion. Now, how does somebody who has worked in government his whole life, how does somebody like that amass a wealth of $150 billion? He stole it! He stole it like every fucking disgusting, should-be-dead communist. That's all communists know how to do, is steal from other people. That's all it is. That's what communism is. Oh, man, I'm a communist. I want the means of production in my possession. So I'm going to overthrow and kill whoever I have to so I can have the means of production. That's fucking communism, man. That's what communism is. Jesus Christ, man. Wake up! Give me my freaking cola, for Christ's sake, all right? Now, I'm going to move on. And by the way, I'm done with the stuff that I'm supposed to talk about today. I'm going to spend the last 10 minutes talking about either Drudge headlines on drudgereport.com or headlines that I want to discuss that I haven't covered in this broadcast. Okay? Now, one of the things that I want to talk about here, since I've got 10 minutes to talk, did you all hear about this 10-year-old boy who needed hospital treatment after being beaten up by bullies? And the reason that he had to be hospitalized and he got so beaten up by his bullies was because, quote, it's not the Jedi way. I'm not kidding, man. This guy thinks, or this kid, this 10-year-old kid, this is why I think fantasy and fiction should be eliminated from schools altogether. I mean, fiction is so dangerous. I mean, we have most of the millennials right now living in fiction. That's why they think that these, miraculous things that they have going around in their loser heads will actually come true, because they see it in a movie. They read it in a book. They saw it in a comic book or some fucking game or some bullshit like that. Yeah, 10-year-old boy refuses to fight back after he's getting his ass kicked because it's not the Jedi way. I don't know if that's autism. I don't know if that's stupidity. I don't know what the hell that is. But, folks, it's a testament to, once again, that this idea of fantasy, this idea of fiction needs to be eliminated already, all right? Because I think that too many people are living in fantasy right now. I mean, that's what a good portion of the women that are in the Million Woman March, the reason they're in the Million Woman March is because most of those stupid skanks tried to vicariously live their life that they saw in their favorite romantic comedy. And because it didn't come to fruition, now they're pissed off about it and want to blame everybody else except their fat, ugly, disgusting selves. They don't want to blame it. They want to blame everybody else but themselves. So anyway, once again, I mean, how dumb are we getting in this country where we have a kid who says that it's not the Jedi way to fight back bullies who are beating the shit out of him. I'm looking at this poor kid. He's got a freaking cut on his eye, for Christ's sake. Got a big shiner. It's not the Jedi way. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. What kind of pussies are we raising, for Christ's sake, man? You're getting your ass beat. If you're going to take hits, hit back, you moron. I mean, good God. Don't you understand that bullies, they like to pick on people that aren't going to fight back. They like to pick on people that are weaker than them. Hence, bullies. So if they bully you and you're taking punches to the face, well then punch back, scratch back, bite, do whatever it takes, although you'll be laughed at for biting, but still, do whatever it takes so that that bully, when he sees you again, even though he kicked your ass, you left him with some scars that he ain't never going to get rid of, and he's going to think twice about bullying you again. You don't have to kick your bully's ass. I mean, look, you're going to get your ass kicked anyway by this prick, right? You're going to get your ass kicked anyway. If you're going to take punches and you're going to get your ass beat, hit back. Do damage. Believe me, that bully, even if he beats your ass and leaves you in a puddle of your own blood and piss, if you leave him bleeding, if you leave him with a scar, if you leave him with bruised ribs, if you leave him with injuries, he will not fuck with you again. Anyway, folks, let me move on, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, oh my God, it's not the Jedi way. Fucking stupid brat. Let me go ahead and go to the first headline here on drudgereport.com. Excuse me. Sarah Palin excluded from McCain funeral. Oh, no kidding. You think? This stupid broad. I don't have. Y'all all know what I think about Sarah Palin, all right? But no shit, she wasn't invited to the McCain funeral. I think that she single-handedly cost this moron the election. Anyway, let's move on here. Obama Boulevard coming to Los Angeles. Oh, Jesus Christ, man. You're actually naming a street after the asshole that tried to destroy our country and turn it into a socialist welfare hole? Only in goddamn Los Angeles, for Christ's sake, man. And what are they going to do? Are they going to give a street name to Michael Obama, a.k.a. Michelle Obama, in West Hollywood? For being a tranny that looks like she could play for the 49ers? The fuck out of here with that crap, man. Anyway, let's move on. What is this? We were just talking about the Pope. Pope's bombshell says that he's at peace. He's at peace? He's at peace? You know what? I've already covered the Pope. I mean, you know, what a sick asshole. How can you still be a Catholic after this? He's at peace. He had no problem with those children getting molested and had no problem covering it up for that fucking Cardinal McCarrick. He's at fucking peace. Fuck you, Pope Francis. Burn in hell, and when you die, I hope that you get fucking raped up your ass with a fucking devil's pitchfork, you fucking piece of crap. And excuse me if I am a little vulgar here, but how long are we going to continue to accept the Catholic Church molesting children? How long? Jesus Christ, man. What else do we have here? Prison staff in Ohio and Pennsylvania treated for drug exposure. What the hell is this? Officials say staff members at prisons in Ohio and Pennsylvania have been treated for exposure of suspected drugs. Okay. Corrections authorities in Ohio and Pennsylvania said Wednesday investigated inmate and staff exposure to drugs and chemicals in what appeared to be an unrelated incidents that nevertheless underscored the continued issue of contraband of drugs inside the nation's prisons and jails. In Pennsylvania, the state prisons were on lockdown, precipitated by 29 employees and 10 prisons, requiring treatment in recent weeks by exposure to a yet unidentified substance described in some cases as liquid synthetic drug. The Pennsylvania Department of Corrections announced the step Wednesday, the same day that about a half dozen staff members at Somerset and Albion, state prisons reported feeling ill. Symptoms included dizziness, lightheadedness, nausea, and skin tingling. In Ohio, prison guards, nurses, and inmates were among the 30 people treated for possible drug exposure. What fucking drug are you talking about? What is this? Is this fentanyl? What is this shit? As officers and medical responders arrived, a total of 28 individuals, including 23 guards, 4 nurses, and an inmate, were treated through the administration of naloxone, a drug used to combat overdoses caused by opioids such as heroin or fentanyl. Yeah, well, it's what figured. Fentanyl. Why are people even doing that shit, man? It's an instant killer, you morons. Good God. Who else do we have here? All right, ICE detains 160 illegals in a Texas raid. That's right, baby. Get them out. Send them back. Get them out of here. Jesus Christ, I'm not even kidding. Get them out of here. 160 illegals kicked out. Kicked out in a raid, all right? They mentioned Narcan in another news article, according to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, in relation to the Pennsylvania and Ohio detention centers that are under lockdown because of a suspicious drug. So Narcan is also being implicated, as well as fentanyl. Let's move on here. We've got... I don't want to talk about that, for Christ's sake. What else do we have here? Cheating scandal rocks basic school for Marine officers. Let's read about this. What is this? Land nav cheating scandal inside total meltdown at TBS. All right, TBS, the basic school for Marine officers, is reeling from a cheating scandal that involves 6 second lieutenants accused of wrongfully obtaining and sharing key grid points for the night land navigation course. The officers were accused of sharing the grid points via text message before the test and later relying on them to find hidden boxes stashed across the wooded night land navigation course in Quanticio, Virginia. According to interviews with the Marine Corps officials and a copy of the command investigation obtained by the Marine Corps Times, the Marine Corps considers that cheating because the students were able to complete the course without demonstrating the key skills the course aims to evaluate. I mean, no shit, man. Are we doing this now? That we're cheating in, like, training for the Marines? I mean, we're cheating? We got Marines. I mean, isn't this what they're doing in college anyway, folks? This is why most college graduates are a bunch of idiots, because they all cheat. They all use their phones and other technologies so that they can cheat and be able to pass the test. It's no longer about learning anything, for Christ's sake. It's just about passing the test, and if you pass the test, then you're the man, right? I mean, at least that's the way our current system is set up. I mean, but if you're training to be a Marine, why would you want to fucking cheat? I mean, cheating training could potentially mean your life later on. I don't understand that. I don't understand that one fucking bit, for Christ's sake. I don't know. You know what? I mean, I can't believe that people that call themselves Marines would even attempt to cheat. I think it's sad. And once again, this is just remnants of Barack Obama's Marine Corps right here. That's what this is, for fuck's sake. Anyway, let's take a look at one or two more articles, then we're going to get out of here. Dick's Sporting Goods says Under Armour and new gun sales policy has dragged their quarterly results, for Christ's sake, all right? Right, that's what you get for virtue signaling, asshole. That's what you get for virtue signaling. Remember when Dick's Sporting Goods said that they weren't going to sell guns anymore because after one of the many false flag shootings that had been shoved down our throats? Well, Dick's Sporting Goods today is down 2.17% because weaker sales of Under Armour Inc. apparel and the decision to pull back from the hunting business has dragged the retailer's latest quarterly results. Comparable to store sales fell 4%, Dick said. Not adjusting for the 53rd week last year, the company's same-store sales have declined. I mean, come on, Dick's Sporting Goods. I mean, hunting is a sportsman sport. I mean, you're literally taking out of your own pocket. I'm sure everybody that didn't get their Dick's Sporting Goods, at least guns and things of that nature, if they didn't get it there, they got it from Cabela's or, what is it called? Bass fishing shop or whatever the fuck it's called. I think that's what, that's probably who cashed in this particular quarter because Dick's Sporting Goods decided to be virtue signalers and cancel any kind of gun sales, for Christ's sake. What a bunch of crap. What a bunch of crap. Anyway, I'm done. I'm done with talking about any of this ridiculousness that's happening across the world today. And this is the end of Wednesday's edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the broadcast. We are live, baby, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Texas Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I love being independent now. Like I said, folks, type this in your browser right now. Add this to your bookmarks. Add this to your favorites. The following, ghost.report. All right? That's the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, ghost.report. All right? Spread that across the internet and throughout the world because we independent, baby. You know what I'm saying? So spread that across the internet and throughout the world. Thank you guys very much. And I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I will be in the chat room here in about 20 minutes. If you want to come kick back with us tonight, folks, it's as easy as this. All right, go to my Gab account right now. Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost. That's my Gab. Go to my Gab account right now and click the subscribe button for premium content. Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do all that, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name so I can give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that simple. And like I said, folks, next month, September, we're going to be mailing out, everybody who is now subscribed, we're going to be mailing out a September newsletter and a monthly newsletter. We're going to do it every month to everybody who is subscribed to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. All right? And I hope everybody appreciates it, likes it. We're going to do all kinds of stuff in that newsletter. Capitalist of the Month, talk about some things, business ideas, etc. We're going to be doing some things with the newsletter. I'm very excited about it. I hope you're excited about it. So please, if you want to participate in all this, come on down. Come on down. Go to my Gab, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores. And remember, all you have to do is click the subscribe button for premium content. And then once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name. And I will be sure to give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And by the way, folks, like I had told you earlier in the broadcast, we've got Mr. Fucked Up Fucking Idiot Meadowcore over here getting $5,000 a month on Patreon. I'm not going to fucking get a Patreon, okay? I'm not going to get a Patreon. What I would appreciate is if those of you that wished I had a Patreon and would contribute to a Patreon, just go to the damn cryptocurrency wishing well at ghost.report. All right, and throw something in there. All right, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, that's the only way that controversial right-wing broadcasts like this are going to be able to sustain themselves in the future. All right? So, I mean, anything that you throw in that cryptocurrency wishing well will be worth it. And let me tell you, all you people that are out here not contributing anything, let me tell you something. If dumbass Mr. fucking autistic retard entertainment Meadowcore, if he can get $5,000 a month on Patreon, I mean, give me a break with a couple of bucks on cryptocurrency. All right? Come on! That's the only way that we're going to keep content like this around. I mean, that's all there is to it. Once again, go to the cryptocurrency wishing well on ghost.report. And if you appreciate the broadcast, man, I mean, you know, let me know. Let me know by throwing some crypto in the cryptocurrency wishing well, and you'll be helping the continuity of this broadcast. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be honest with you, if we were to somehow get like, I don't even want $4,000 a month. I mean, if we get like $2,000 a month in crypto, if we had like $2,000 a month in crypto donations, I'd be broadcasting every day. But you know, who knows? You know, it's all up to the people. It's all up to the people. Anyway, folks, I'm getting the hell out of here. Okay, thank you guys very much for listening. And, by the way, Ghost.market for any kind of apparel. All right, if you appreciate the show, you want to support the show, you want to buy some apparel, Ghost.market is where it's at, folks. Anyway, I am going to be back this Baller Friday, and I hope that you're here chilling with us on a Baller Friday. All right? What's Baller Friday? It's going to be the last day of the month, the 31st. So make sure you come kick back with us. We're going to be talking about some good stuff. Maybe we can have some unexpected content happen during Baller Friday, whatever. Just come on down, let everybody you know, tell your mommy, your aunt, your grandma, your grandpa, your father, your uncle. Let everybody you know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All right? Anyway, folks, I am out of here. Thank you all very much for tuning in with me. If you like me or hate me, I appreciate your patronage, folks. No bullshit, man. I really do appreciate it. Anyway, I am out of here. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. I'm out of here. And like I said, you better be here with me for Baller Friday, for Christ's sake, because we may be able to play some games. We might be doing some shenanigans. You know, we might be doing some shock radio shit. Who knows? All right? Come kick back with me this Baller Friday, 6:30 p.m. I'm out of here. Woo!